Hello, listeners. Hi, my name is Madhavi, and I'm so happy to have you on UppTalk. You have come to the right place if you want to learn about IT and do really cool things with your hands. We are not just another IT company when I say UppTalk. Think of us as your learning partner dedicated to helping you reach your full potential. We have top notch hands on courses to help you build your business, whether you are new to technology or want to move up in your current job. Let's look around this as our first step towards learning.
Let's say I went to Logan Meitner's profile and I went to a particular tab. Here in pay, let's say I went for this benefit. We are in performance. I went in performance and I want to see the completed ones. Yes. And here I went to performance. I open this in a new tab. Thank you. Let me show for other ones, for other things which will be for a person who is interested. Information to be means the approach. I will show you that you can follow. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I don't know why it is taking long to process. Sometimes I don't know that it refreshes again and again. For me also, but yes. And in, let's say I am also using because we have access, admin access and everything. Now if I see other personal information, I should see only some kind of information, not personal information or something else. If I want to something. And how you know how to give the security, other related actions, and I know all these things. Where exactly we will mention, I can see only this. I should not see others' information. That security, we assign it. Basically, it's a very long process. We need to, if I see on a macro level, what we need to do is to configure it. First of all, we will create a security group or if there is an example, existing security group and we are not able to see that and will for existing security group will Assign such domains personal information worker, personal information worker address, worker contact. Details everything, domains, wait and then assign that security group to a worker. If I go to actions and in actions I will get an option to assign a security or assign a role. If it's a role based security, then it will be assigned to that. If it's a different security, I think, and if it's different security type which are role based and user based, then I can basically assign that particular security role to that worker. That means that security group and does those domains are attached to that worker. In work be able to see that those things got you got it, but the same thing, both are in the suppose me and you are working the same company. We got the same individual. I cannot see your information. You cannot see my information because we are not the partners or something else. It's our administrator or something, but individually, based on they create a user or they created a domain. Some domain that has to be only shows our data, only that security. The role, how it works, little confusion there for me. Let me explain you. I will try to explain as much as possible because in this prism I won't be able to explain you much. I will say I will try to give as much as overview as possible. Let's say here the worker 1 is there. Let's name is worker 1 and here worker 2 is there. Both are hired in a company. And let's say you join as a prism analyst. Prism analyst you're sharing and oh sorry. I think that sharing is not on. Are you able to see the Excel? As I mentioned you that here one worker 1 is there and worker 2 is there. Assume worker 1 is you and worker 2 is your friend. He got hired as a payroll partner. Payroll partner. Now you both have different roles in the organization. You are Prism and he is the payroll one. Now what I can do is there are basically very different type of security groups. One is user based and one is role based. There are others as these are the most common ones and just giving a basic idea. Let's say Prism is a role. As a Prism comes Prism analyst, you should be getting something. Let's say you got security group assigned for Prism administrator, Prism admin and security group for your and because your friend got hired for payroll partner. He needs to see something related to payroll. Let's say he got access for payroll partner only because he will be looking after the payroll thing now. As a present admin, you will be working across all the domains, personal data and all. Let's note it down somewhere. What are the domains which will cover this and this? Now, I know that under worker, personal info. Personal info, there will be certain informations, all your personal info, the tab which I showed over here, this all falls under personal information. This all things will be under those when they enter will belong to this. Date of birth belong to this. If I have any confusion, what I can do is I can click over here. I can go to security and see the domains. I can go to security for this one. I think the security might not be there. Let me show for some other things. It will be divisible in that case. Job change, higher compensation. For additional data business process, you see business. Did you saw anywhere security business process, LD business? And process V security. Let me check somewhere else as with that secured. By event target. Now, this is not what we want location. Let's see. I think this thing is visible, it seems. Let me check for other things as if I am able to check it for them. Let go for. Here, let me this. Reports reporting. Here I might get the details. Here I got these fields. Here I got accrued date. I go to security and here I can go. To view security. Let's say I want to pull this particular field here. All these things are configured. Here I won't be able to see the exact those things, but I can open. Open, go to. Reporting, go to report field values. When I go, I will see this page, this page. Consists of all the fields which are on a particular page. Let's say open for this payroll, one thing for payroll. It opened for me on that page all the things which are available in that page will show me over here that what is the field, what is their relational business object, what is the field type, what are the values. Here you can sum as this period has related the business of the guest period. It belongs to categories payroll. You also will be able to identify what it is and with what data sources belong to. I want to pull this period. Are you able to see the data source? I need to create a and report on this particular data source. After that, I will be able to do it. Secondly, on the payment date, I can click on this, go to security and after. And good things that are to view security, when I go to view security, I will be able to see that particular domain from which domain that particular field belongs to. Here, you can see currently the domain security policy, the functional area is standard, non-configurable. And if I click on this domain, and the permission is view only, we can't say we cannot change it. Ideally, it runs very fast. It doesn't take much time for this particular task. Over there, the domain comes that this payment date belongs to a certain domain. Here, let's say we saw that it belongs to public resource. Reporting item. If I have this access to this domain, then I would be able to see that data. Got. Yes, I need to have that access. Let's say gender belongs to this. A personal info, let's say gender name. If I have access to this domain, then I will automatically have access to it all the gender my personal info. Then here other details will be there that worker work contact details. Those are the domains which are available now. Here you can see that I don't have access to I don't have access to I don't have access to any security group related payroll. By that I won't be able to see payroll related data. On the other hand, your friend who is working, worker 2, he has access to worker, let's say payroll. I don't know exactly which model they belong to, but I'm just typing as in generic just for the explanation. But let's say he has worker payroll data security domain access, then he won't be able to see personal information because he doesn't have the access, but rather he will be able to see all the payroll data for the worker. Now of how many worker he can see, what he can do with that data. That also we can configure it going forward. Here also you can see the personal information, but personal information of yourself or for your team or for others, team or for whole organization that we can configure going ahead in the security group. Security group, first of all, what we are doing is when two people got hired based upon their role, we assign them security groups. And once we assign the security groups, we assign domains to them. Domains are what? What are the functional areas? What are the areas that they want? Do we want them to see benefit? Data, talent, data, those areas will include in the security group, and we assign the security group to that worker. That worker will be able to see those domains which are may assigned to that. Now, let's say there are workers do work with you. Let's say we have a small company people, around 25 people are there, but we will have individual roles and responsibilities. Maybe they fall in different domains. One is related to account and one is related to payroll. One guy is different. Some other admin or something people have sent security. People will come, they will give each individual role and every which will because they are different. Domains all falls in different problems that will test all of them manually how he's going to how to once the role is assigned. Let's say I'm a security and I give this role to pay a payroll partner, only payroll partner. You will able to see only payroll related information. How can image? These guys will test manually and each role, each access. How to test it? What access? That's anything else X I have no. See first of all, Workday has criteria that minimum there should be a particular account. Previously it was more than 5,000, but now they are also catering to the workforce size who are more than 3,000. Because the setup is made in that way to accommodate those functions to a big organization, not for small organization. And in any organization which has 3,000 employees minimum, I'm saying will be having more than one HR or one payroll partner, or any department will have more than at least 5 people will be there in any team, HR team, payroll team, security team, any team. In that, what they do is they create individual security group for individual roles. Accountants, for to see that finance data, they will create a security group for accounts. Accountants, for let's say for payroll, they will create a payroll partner security group for payroll partner that they can see the payroll data and process the payroll that they will do. And once they do it, it's only one time thing they did. Let's say if they create it one time and they manage all the things, then they don't need to do manually one time is testing is to be done to see what are the things which are covered. Let's say this worker to join. When we assign him a payroll partner, it's a role. What you are assigning payroll partner is a role. When we assign a role, automatically this payroll partner security will be assigned to him. Why it will be done automatically? Because we have already configured it in previous stages that if someone has a particular role, we will be able to do this thing. And the testing in the beginning is being done manually. But it's not that manual. Basically, I know that I want personal info and what other things comes on personal info. I will assign that domains in the if I go to domains, if I show you over here, the description of the domain. This domain provides access to all publicly available class reports, fields, and report data source. It allows all users with permission to create or run report With the view, this field description is given. Based upon the description, I will add those things in my this security group. Once I sign it, I can assign to it and test it, and then I will do the proxy. Proxies means, let's say I am worker 3. I am the security person. I'm security admin. What I will do is I will take proxy on behalf of this person and see how much data he is able to see. And I will run the report, or I will go things and I will check if is everything working or fine or not. And still it's not always foolproof. Technology is technology. Nothing is foolproof. There are cases when sometimes payroll partner will say, I'm not able to see that data. Again, as a security admin, I will go and check that. What's the issue? It's some technical issue from the Workday side that the configuration is not done, or it's a security issue that some domains is missing. If any domain is missing, I will assign that domain. And if domain is not missing, if there is some technical issue, then I will raise that issue with the Workday to resolve that technical issue from the Workday's end. Got it? This is our work. When I take a proxy, I will be working on behalf of him. Working on behalf of him. I will be working on behalf of him. Be logging in on behalf of you, and I will be able to see it. Got it? Because you are secreted. Let's say if you are using Facebook and I am using Facebook and ask your credentials, I will log in as a Raja. Log in as Raj and I will be able to see your friends. I will be chat with your friends and your friends will also, and I will post. People will think that you are posting, but I am posting on behalf of you. It same applies to this. I as a security, I will take a proxy of you and I will see as a payroll partner what are the data you can see. One question maybe last year, if you see some issues, where exactly will the information? No, I'm trying to access something else, but I suppose to I got payroll information, partner information, but as a worker too, but I am getting some errors. As a security admin, where exactly you see that issues, whether these are able to log in or not. With some kind of in typical application clients, our applications will log all the application where exactly that guy is getting the issue, whether in some table or some access or something. We know that if you go to the logs, we know these logs are available here. We can see the logs of the data in Workday also. Such system is there to see the issues in some certain logs that is available to everybody, or now only certain areas and roles. If you go, I mean that's fairly complete expertise into security. I don't know much in detail about it that logs are, because for that we need such access to work as a security person. But I have seen people doing that. There are logs available. I have worked with audit logs. Audit logs is all the changes which a person does. Let's say a worker prism analyst is doing any work. Let's say it's creating a report, and after creating, he adds 3 fields. And then, after adding 3 fields, he removes 2 fields and keeps only 1 field. All these things capture into audit log. And I can see that audit log. What are the things? And also as a security admin, I can also see how many times worker 1 has logged in, from which system he has logged in, from which IP address he has used his company laptop or other laptop. I can know that I can do. And regarding this thing, that whether worker 2 is not able to see, how does it complain? Let's say worker 2 is working for payroll for 100 employees and suddenly he's not able to see fields of any particular worker. There's a pattern. Let's say he's not able to see data for only 25 workers Or let's say for all the 100 workers, he is not able to see the last name. Or let's say base pay amount. Any particular column is missing. By that for all and 100 workers, it won't be that possible that there is no records for it. There should be some records. I can go to contact to security admin that I am not able to see records of all 100 employees, that I can cross verify it. I can also see previous data, that for previous data. This 100 workers, we used to get the data, but suddenly they're not getting it. Whether there is some security revoked or whether there is an update with the security or not. Yes, it's if I'm not able to find it, I will ask the security admin that. I'm not able to see the data. Can you check or not? They can't be half of you. That was the issue. Got clear on this? I got the high level picture. I need to go. That is the thing that basically it's the more you spend time in the system, the more you will be, more clarity you will have. It is not that you will, from the first day, only will be able to learn it because it's a particular field. Thank you. I am also understanding that particular scenario, but I am also limited to help you. Just considering that, I hope you understand. I know I got, but you are helping me. The best way, for me at least. Thanks for that. No worries. Shall we continue with the discourse about that? Please, please, please. A previous session, we discussed regarding how to navigate the Drive Discovery Board. Basically, we go to Drive and in Drive we can create a discovery board and how the layout is, what things, where those locate, and now we will see that how we can create a visualization under it. We saw that each sheet will have multiple visualization and one discovery board will have multiple sheet. If I want to add a sheet, I can click +1 over here. A new sheet will be added, and if I want to add this, I can add visual from here, and this will be added over here. I can resize the viz as per my requirement. Let's say currently we saw that how the gender related data we will be able to. Word to visualize that we covered. Regarding the donut part, how to use donut chart now. Table part. Now let's say we created a Prism dataset, and Prism dataset we are only able to see a sample 20,000 rows only. There's a limitation from the Prism that if you want to see the data, we won't be able to see all the data. We have limitations of 20,000 records that we can see. But what if our data is more than that? Definitely, our record will be more than that because 20,000 is very less, depending on most of the requirements. When we publish it, we can also see the detailed data over here. That how we can do. Let's say I want to see employee related data. I can type the employee over here in the search. If I know what are the fields are, why this data source is. Records for HTML tagging cheat prompts. Here ID no feels strange. Thank you. Let's time work. Worker will put over here. Here, currently, it is showing me only one call, one place to fill. As we drag and drop things, as I drag and drop things, another column will appear directly below it. It's visible, we just need to drag and drop. Now, type super org as we drop this one, be able to see that this is loading this data over. Here, let's see we went for super easy organization and paste it over here. Now, if we will paste on that same one, it will get replaced. Just I did by mistake because it's actually taking, it's big, it's hanging a bit. See it off here should, it's working. Then we will see country. It's coming. Count my bad. I should look at location as country. Here I got this visualization that this is the particular thing. Now what I am seeing is I am seeing some junk data as I am seeing that this FR test Mexico supervise if this all data is coming. Now I want to filter out of data because I don't require data from this particular fields. What I will do, I will go to filter and I want to apply filter for all the for full sheet, this whole sheet or a particular visualization. There are chances that visualization 1 is there. Let's name in as worker data and we name is you. Let's say we want different visualization for USA. One for France, one for Mexico. In that case, I will apply this filter because that filter will be only applicable to particular visualization. If you apply for sheet filter, it will apply for the same. Let's say in our case we are applying for whole sheet. In whole sheet, what do is type the country. Location, address, country. In location, address, country, I will mention that in the selection list, it should be United States of America. Once I do it, it will automatically refresh this table. It's running a query. Now we are able to see that all the things that all this data belongs to, this belongs to this one particular one. Let me make it a little bit bigger. Another thing now, what I want is I want to do another filter. What I can do is I can give an and or condition or again and nested filter and or condition or what, either this location or any other one. It is an or condition and is if both will be fulfilled, then that one. What is nested ones? Nested ones is let's say if this particular country matches, then follow this. This is tips and let's say if this Mexico matches, then do this. This is this thing we can mention. Those criteria accordingly. Let's say if United States is there and I found to add an extra space. What? I will mention that for the United States, pull the worker for male, female and others. But if the location, but if it's Mexico or if the country is Mexico, then pull me the fields for only male. That is what? Nested looks, let's say, if one condition is met, then and only it will go to the next condition following to that. I am ending on another. It'll filter with the name of super or supervisory organization, super org. In the selection list, I will mention global modern services with which we are creating this thing global. Modern services. As I filter here, the new updated data will reflect over here. Only Steve Morgan is there. Under that one, why Steve Morgan is coming? Because I haven't mentioned to include the hierarchy. I only mentioned to include this particular one. Let's say if I want to include subordinates, as I can mention that include subordinates. If the option is coming, I can do it. Save this. Otherwise, all things will go. Thank you. Thank you. It's hanging a bit. One question. How frequently you are developing these kind of visualization charts or prisms? What kind of data at your end? Real-time scenarios. Who will ask you to develop these things? A visualization part. Somebody will assign this kind of work in your work. Basically, how frequently you generate these dashboards visualizations depends on the project. Let's say if it's a big project, we might create it once or twice. Or let's say we want do some testing at during that time. We use it during the testing, but it will. Completely depends on us. When we want to do it, you got my answer. Somebody might ask me, where exactly can you give some examples? I can. What kind of generation? You build any for you. What is the best way to give that example? Last time you mentioned when you created for prism analysis, I can give who is coming, who is not coming, and those kind of data sets are created, and based on that, we know how many people are coming hybrid role, how many people are using, how many those areas. There's those information. Similarly, what can know, I can tell the interview. What kind of visualization? How you can mention that. Let's say you work on, let's say, head account report, and that you need to create a head account count report for different countries or different organization, that what's the head count and what's the target. Recently I came across a project, according to my experience, that when any organization creates a budgeting, let's say they create a budget, let's say they have that for a department, IT department, they will hire 3 people, which is a target headcount. And what is the actual headcount? Let's say 0, because 3, we are targeting to have 3 people, and we have had 3. As 0 people, that means we can hire 3 people under them. But let's say we have already surpassed that particular target, the actual ones, Let's say we already have 3. We had a target of 3 and we achieved that particular target of 3. This serves two purposes. First of all, to keep in check regarding the budget that whether we are overshooting the budget or not. And secondly, to keep on track that how many positions are yet to achieve based upon target as actual. Here we can create a visualization that for a particular supervisory organization or a particular organization or a particular department, how many targets are there in total and how many are actuals are there. Let's say if for a particular department, let's say the target combinedly, I am not counting for. I am counting each and every manager. I am doing some of them. Let's say under the manager there are 2 people. Under the manager 4 people. If I see for whole department, then for whole department, let's say there are 100 targets and the actual one is 97. Means I am yet to achieve my target by hiring 3 more people. Got. This is the base idea. It's a glance regarding the project, which is head count target which we create. In that what we did is what our plan is to get the worker data from the via Workday, report from Workday and get data from Adaptive, which is a different work. This is some adaptive planning which the workflow spanning. We'll merge those 2 data into Prism and do some transformation and create a visualization in Discovery Board. But Discovery Board is just an additional part of the Prism. Main Prism is done by creating and publishing the data set that is Prism is done now. Discovery Board is just an additional thing to it. The based on the Prism only go to. Visualization, we have a target, all this somebody else created already you. Know the custom reports and market system, then we used in our Prism or how it works or generally we need to create even custom reports ourselves in the first day, then we need to bring it to Web Prism. From there we need to go to B, visualization of the process flow. In that case, what happens is we get an information from them. First of all, we plan that. What are the data is available in Workday or where the data is located. Let's say we identified a worker data. We will be able to manage it from the Workday and the rest data will name from a data contact that we have a dependency on them. Let them know that we are dependent on you to get this particular data. Once you contact them, once you get that data from them, because the worker data is very generic, there might be existing reports from them. But if not, let the reporting team know to create a report for us. Sometimes what happens is people who know PRIs sometimes also know reporting as basic reports they create by themselves. And if it's very complex one, they approach to the reporting team and ask them to create a report on behalf of you. Once the reporting team says that we are ready, the report is created. But let's say we have a report on ourselves and we get the data from the adaptive team. Create a SFTP to pull the data from adaptive to Prism and create a base data set to get the data of custom report to Prism. We got 2 base data set, one from the custom report and one from the adaptive. Then we will create a data-derived data sets to merge them together. We will join them and after joining, do some transformation which are required and after doing those transformation, publish for the reporting purpose, going out for visualization or whatever you want. Any confusion till here? No. Here, as we see here, we got this one. Name, we got time type. Time type is not available. Let me take what are. The fields are available to urban position. Here now I want to see count. Let's see for this. Let's say if we remove worker and I want to see the worker count. Worker and I want to see how many people are. They are in United States of in this one. What I will do is I will click on this. I will count this thing and here I will paste it. But here I won't be doing this particular one because it's advanced this one. If I switch it to matrix one, this pivot table, then I will be able to count this thing I will mention. And summary field. I think there's some issue. Thank you. Only curated fields are enabled. Why always does this thing? Now be able to see here. I will mention the amount. I want to sum the total pay amount. What are for this particular? What is particular country? What is the total sum? I will get an amount over here, the sum. In total for this country, the total base pay amount is this much 1,003.90 Got it? I can also do the average as if I want to see what is the average of it. I can pull the average. I can see the average as over here. I can see the min max and whatever I want to do the calculation over here. Also, let's say I want to rename this particular thing. Here, location, country is there. I can go to field option. I don't want to name as location country. It's too long. I will name as country. Let me keep applying. Here you can see the field name has changed to country. Good. This is how it works. We can do it here. This is a matrix one. What it does, it summarizes the data. Let me give another example for here that workers are there here. If I pull the worker here, prop field. And this is the filter. I will remove this one and demo. Here you can see that this particular country has this many workers and let's say if I want to get a summarized data of it, I can remove the workers from here and I can see the summarized one. But how many worker belongs to a particular country? Just a second, it will update 365 people are there in that particular country. And now when I see that pay date, it was same, it was 3, some 367 for all of them. When I keep this pay amount over here, pay amount and I will go to some you will see that there will be difference with the sum and the average. Why? Because previously we were only doing for one worker only. Here the amount is C, big amount is coming. And here if I queue the average once, I want to queue the average. I can see that average is, this is the average salary in United States. Those things won't be available. In Workday, these are the means we will be able to calculate. It's not an issue for that, but these are the by defaults available. We don't need to do any calculation or something. It is manually possible, but here we will be able to achieve it in a more simpler way. I can also format it here. The name shows some total base. Amount I can hover it over here. When I hover it over, I can go to formatting and I can mention that I want decimal or not. Here I will say I don't want a decimal. I will do 0 and I will go apply and see here it went off. Here decimal is not there. Those are the different options which are available. I can go to their formatting, whether I want to include thousand separators or not, the commas or not, or currency symbol should be there or not. Because it's a currency field, we have enabled as currency. Now, let's say if I go to field option, again change the name of it, display as what percent, column, or what in some cases, let's say if we want percent, it will automatically calculate to the percent one. And let's say here I want to change the name and we can change the name. That's sum, then only sum. Sum will come, not the other things. All the things works basically on drag and drop criteria. It's easy. And let's say now I want to see in what department people are. Better we will define. For this particular one, I can see here for United States, for this supervisor organization, the sum of the total base. Space 48, it's very less. Let's say, let's filter on. This is the junk data, the junk we are getting. The junk data are this. These are the some people who have created it. Let's include something that we can. We will be able to see some good data into it. Supervise your organization in the list global modern services. Low. Here we can see that different organizations has different supervisory organizations has different sum and average values of it. This is what we saw. For tables do not pivot, and now if we see the chart, a chart will have different this thing for. Here you saw that the sum and average is coming. Let's remove the sum. Let's remove the average and let's see the sum. Here let's say I want to see that payroll. For executive group for United States the salary is the maximum. And for the United States ABC Supply Corp it's less. This is how we see that in which country or in which department, in which supervisory organization, what payroll comes. Let's say here we remove this country to see some meaningful data. I can remove it. I'll be able to see for. Let's say creator remove this supervisory organization. I'll be able to see the data for other one. If I give more details chart can display summarized value contains multiple currency types. Here value types are multiple. I can mention the workers count. If I have that option, here I am getting the worker count that for United States. It's not worker count, it's another count, but here, what are the key fields are there? Let me count this thing. Let me pull some other fields here. Let me give gender this and how the gender are being bifurcated over here. This is what bifurcation is that for female China and Canada. What is the count of it? I can get it from here. It says I can remove this field. For as a global modern services, I can remove it. I can see this is Canada has how much male which country. If I want to pull it over here, Let's say I want to put it in colors in this. Here it will show me in this format, stake format. Here you can see this much to males are there. I want to change it. The matrix I can change to 2-0. I want to do area graph. It will show me an area at which particular area. There it is. If I want to limit the number of records, I can limit it. I want some particular records, only that I can do it. I can go to the x-axis. This is more than dual. It doesn't work in this particular one. But yes, here I can do 2.1. Which one is the maximum? These are the different types of chart. If I want to see for male, only male will get highlighted in this. If I want to see the female will get highlighted on this. Now let's see. I want a bar chart for it. Bar chart, we covered it here. It will be much. In better way, I will see called grouping. Let's see. I want to see this for particular ones. This will be same for everyone. The whole length will be same, but the numbers will be different for others. Any confusion in this? Any doubts? Now here we did this. Now let's say I want to drill in particular late. Let's say I change it to the pivot table. This all things I changed it to pivot table and I got this thing in this table format. I put in column in gender and here in row I put the country. I can see that for Australia, the total count of female is 19 and male is 19. It's equal distribution. Now what I want to do is I want to do this to see that what this 19 workers are. To see that data, I can go to configuration panel. I can mention show detail. When I enable this, show detail. Just again. By default, these things are coming to us. Here, let's say when I click on this and I go to show details, I'll be able to see that for particular that one. I'll be able to see all this thing that 19 females. You are there, 19 females are Lena. She's from consulting services. Her job title is their skills, are their location, age, gender. This is what this is drilling in the data. We are what we are doing drilling in the data inside this one. Let's say I want to see the males. I will click on this and I will see for details. It will show all the details for male workers for Australia. This is what at a glance what we are doing is at a glance what we are doing is at a glance we are seeing that a summarized data. But if we want to any time if want to go back and see the data in a more detailed way, we can use this particular configuration thing. Here we can mention that what is alphabetical reference as sending number of columns to be shown over here, or we want to hide anything or rows is there, how to sort the rows and all, then what fields to include. We can always remove the fields what we want to include. Then let's say you want to drill something. Let's say go here, I want to drill by what base pay. If I click on this, I'll be able to see that for this was the base pay range segment. Let's see some meaningful data for this one. Let's click on this drill by and management level. Here we see that there are 5 people there for a level, 2 people are there, manager, 3 people are there, and individual contribute 14 people after. This is also a summarization of the fields going ahead. Let's say you want to see any other field, I can add location, and your location will come. For 2 directors, we are there. One is from Melbourne and one first from Sydney, and I can keep on adding according to my configuration, which I did. Here also again, let's say I want to add a column. Let's say I want to add supervisory organization on the top of it. I can see that in the detail one that this Sydney, it belongs to facility groups that, and let's say if and this is summarizing by count. And let's say I want in percentage wise a percentage of overall total. I can apply. And let's remove other things to understand it. Management level, and let's add supervisor recognition. Here, what percentage here? If 19 people are there, out of 19 people, majority belongs to the individual contributor. Why? Because we convert it to the percentage way. Let's say again convert it to. Again convert into this one. I will see that the majority people belong to the individual contributor. Only see 14 people belong to it. If we take the percentage of it, it's almost 73 percentage. These are the functionalities which we use by creating this, by creating drag and drop and creating different visualization of it. I will save this one. See, the more you will practice, the more you will understand, and the more you will have doubt in this particular one, because this thing, it will be, I will show you all the things which I have worked on. I give my experience also. What kind of project I have worked upon. But the more you practice, the more exposure you will have the data, and the more understanding you will get that how things can be done with multiple approaches. This is a quick overview of the discovery boards. What are the discovery board it is? Let me know if you have any doubts in here. We can keep a second for combined for the Prism and Discovery board tomorrow. I have questions regarding these. Basically, I was looking for this heat map, KPI, and scatter plot remaining I was able to build. You were able to build, as I told you, some of the charts. It's not set for busy data to build it, and it's not straightforward that it's a long process to build that data. Unless you get any requirement, you will be able to do it. But the main concept is to understand that how to perform that particular task means, what things you need to put where and where it works, and that way now you can do that. Most of the time, what kind of visualization we see, which graph generally we use, generally heat map, or I don't know, I'm not sure. And this one was curated. It was generally I was making up looking other places. When they said no, then we won't get now. We are the data source is getting completely what is that data source, whatever workers for HCM reporting. Whenever you are working on Prism side, they will use some separate reporting information. They won't give all the information. Let's say we are collecting all the information. Is that true? Only specific information we receive from other providers. With people, they ask us to give the information, we need to give them back or somebody else. Now we are collecting the same reporting, workers for some reporting. Generally, do we get no? We provide the data. This is data source. Sometimes we will do from it's very similar to reporting, just in reporting when we discuss that which data source of business object to select. But over here in discovery board, we don't need to select business object. Rather, we will select only the data source. Data source is nothing we need to. Let's say you want any data particularly, you can go to a particular one. Let's say someone has asked to the data regarding worker, then you can search for worker related data sources, and then you can see the description, that in description which suits the most. Let's say you got a requirement to provide the information on the basis of organization level, then you can go to that organization level and see those data. It's not there's any rule that only use this particular ones, but the one which we use, we decide based upon the requirement basically. Let's say you got a requirement based upon time and absence, then you will search for time and absence data source, and there will also be not only one time and absence data source. There might be different data source with different variations. It's up to you. You need to see the description of the different data sources and see which one suits the most for you. Let's say if there's a data source that only covers the holiday the plant leaves, or there's a data source which only covers the national holidays only, and some only covers sick leaves, and some covers all the leaves. You want all the leaves, then you will pick the all leaves. That's the way. Just again, worker for HCM reporting. Only we saw worker for HCM reporting. There are data source filter. When you went, you selected data source filter. Let's say if I want all active workers, then I will go. For active workers, it will process the data much faster. Based on our the man, while selecting this information, we have to make sure enough to understand, select which data source and what information contains. Go ahead, please go ahead. Here you can see the data sources with the symbol of thunder lightning. Those are the index data sources. And though which are from the Workday's end, you can see the index data sources and the one which are in triangles icon. These are the Prism data sources. Let's say I created a Prism data source and I am using it over here. It will come in a triangle icon over here. These are all our somebody we in the reports. We created this way format further. How did it came here? This data source. Yes, that data set. When we publish the data sets, when we publish a data set, it will be available for reporting as a discovery board as when you publish any data set. It will be shown here as in the report as both places. You can, if the trend is not refreshed, you can search on the top. You can search with your initials. It might be available here. There are chances if it hasn't refreshed it. Let me check if it was not that. The man is there. I have published one. It's available here. It's going to a BDB organization. Likewise, all your this thing will show. Once we publish it. Yes, once you publish it. Here, only here, there might be some issue. Error, the field cannot be displayed. Instead, there might be some error. What you can do is you can try with some other field. And this particular thing is not supported. You can remove it and try. You can also remove this render. The render is giving error. Now use first name, last name and column. Or maybe I think you should in rows. Rose Sansa can put last name. Yes, see it came. And now you can put the last name also in the rows. The first name and last name will be together. You can pick from the top only. In the column side, the variable gift. Yes, you can pull from there. See, you will get unique number. Let's say if there's a combination of Donald Trump. If these combinations are more, then it will show 2, 3 that the count will show in that way. Then you can give location as then. If you give the location to one thing, give location top of the first names, keep location and let it come as not. Replace. But that's what happening whenever even I would have been yes. Yes, you need to be very careful to see what it is coming. Usually it shouldn't be replaced. But proper field, let's say location now. Where should drop a field? Yes, over there for whoever on the first name. Keep it little more near. A little bit near the first name, exactly upon the first name. A little bit up. Top, it's the drop field here. It should come top field here. You can see California too. People are from California, 2 people are from New York, and 1 is from Austin. This is a curated field. Spencer, whenever going to the data, curated. Field means very limited field will be shown which are with a bit of index. In order to see all the fields, we need to unselect it because ideally, with my experience, I haven't seen little fields only give very limited fields to us and that we won't be able to use all the fields in that particular data source. When you go to the data source or business object worker for same reporting, it will only show very limited fields. Why is the reason they have given is because when we run this discovery boards is very sensitive with the data. Sensitive as in if there's too much of data to process, it will throw an error that too much data to process. It's very important to filter out the data. How we can filter out the data? First step is to select the data source. If you want all active workers, we will see only all active workers and all workers. Secondly, to use show only curated fields. We should disable it. Ideally, it won't work in favor. Secondly, to apply the filter on visualization as on sheet, that it runs faster. And let's say if I'm having too many visualization at a time, I can break it down in different discovery boards rather than keeping in one discovery board, not working in that case. Asking something? Oh no, got it. The only thing here is this one when selecting. But these ones. I know you mentioned already, but SCARA upload heat map KPI. Generally, the team will ask which chart we need to go. Or based on you as a present developer, we need to decide which visualization is good for the one we are going to. Mostly we are the only one to decide it, that in which way to show the data. Because data only shows it in which format to. In which format we'll be able to do it. But unless if it's not the case, then what we can do is we can. Suddenly the team, the end user, will also request that in what forms you want to see the data. And it's not that always the Prism concerned will look after it. Basically, the main purpose of Discovery Board is that when we create a data set into Prism, we publish it, then any of the person can customly build their dashboard from their own. Sometimes we do it for them, but generally it gives the flexibility to others. that they can drag and drop the fields and use whatever they want and do the working as per their needs. But they do not have that kind of margin. The end user, no, it's just a drag and drop. End user, see if the person who is from management level, you came to know how we can drag and drop the things. It's nothing much tricky about it. We just need to drag and drop the things once they are familiar with this concept, then they will be able to do that process from their own got it. But before giving to them, we are the one way to go into what kind of filter we need to use all other things. Then they can play around which is good for them. Either the table is good or matrix is good, whatever reports they want. Done is good. Here I will. Just excuse me. I will share my screen and show it to you. Is it visible screen? My screen. Yes. I created a waterfall chart. I will delete it and create again just for a reference. What I did is first is I add a piece. And in this, what I did is I went to here this particular thing and I search for a waterfall. Waterfall is what waterfall chart. I will just search you. Waterfall chart. How does it look? Waterfall chart shows in a waterfall way. Let's say if something is in increasing way, it will show in increasing manner. And what if it is dropping? It will show in a dropping manner, just a waterfall. This, see if the count is increased. By how much it increased, let me show in a bigger picture. See here, the counting is by 100 in January, then again it increased by 23 in February. Then it dropped in 38. It's a waterfall. Waterfall is this is keep on dropping or keep on increasing that. This works on a base of count on an account dimension. Let's say I want to see the higher count or the count of number of employees based upon a higher date. What I will do is I will create the waterfall chart. And here I want in a vertical chart format. Not this is the vertical one. This kit can be or the horizontal as. Let's say click over here and let's say I want to hire by quarter. This will be much. For better way. This process. If I do here, it will expand. And now here the data is showing from 1900. But now what I will do is I'll enter a filter, this filter, and I want to hire quarter. It's in numeric format. What I will do is I won't hide it. I just want it to analyze the trend from past, from the COVID after COVID. Let's say enter 2020. And here I will mention on or after. Let's see the trend for this. Here you can see the trends. This trend is being increasing continuously. Here you can see the C plus 18. This is increasing only plus 2. Here the number of fires are less. It is the candle is showing low, but as here the count is more 167 got higher this particular quarter that is showing here. You can see this is the start here. You can see the start is there, which signifies from light blue, sky blue color, and when there is an increase, it will show me green. When there's a decrease, it will show me red. There is no decrease in this particular one. We are not seeing that data, and this is a total chart, total number. Basically, it increases this any confusions or doubts in understanding this one. No, yes. Basically, these are the charts which are given over here. They are nothing. New concept. The person means if the these are the all widely used charts in the analytical field. Let's say if you are confused also that how to use it means definitely. I showed you. But let's say going ahead, you got confused. There's no any dependency from the Workday, and you can search anytime what is waterfall chart. See in Tableau, PowerPoint, forecast everywhere. This start are used. These are the common used charts, the pie charts. You created a pie chart. It's a common chart. Means everyone creates it everywhere. It's nothing limited to work. Day likewise. If you stuck let how to create it, you can also how to create a waterfall chart in Excel. It definitely won't show for this work day, but in the Workday, it's a drag and drop here. What? Things are showing high account and your measure. Let's say here I measure. Let's say give your, maybe I can just give it try. When you're in service, years of service, your measure should be something different. Let's say I want to measure with something, but it's organization. Oh, it won't work for you. But basically, this is how it works. If you want to see if these options here, you can show data labels, data starting level, hide the total. If I do hide the total, the last candle, I can do it. I can sort it. I can summarize it. Let's say it's going too much. Let's say I gave from the time when the company started. It will be too much. It can summarize. Summarize it in maximum 100 fields. I can also rename the y-axis and x-axis. And let's say I want to convert it to the horizontal one. I can see that this one. Now let's see for the scatter plot. If we are able to see same thing, at least one should be there in y-axis drop zone. Let's keep. That is able means we are not going to drop any column that is not. Yes, it's not, it's not displaying y because we are not able to do it. I mean, we won't be able to plot it. Here it will take what type of it is taking count distance, count numbers, country. I think only count can drop, only count or some maybe. Count went. And let me put country count over here as if it works. Here you can see the scatter plot. That this is the count of the country and this has the scatter plots the trend. It's just a visualization type only. It's nothing newer thing. But here I can see the trends that it shows in a plotting diagram way. Let's say I want to see the comparison that for two things I can do the comparison. Let's say I put country on both end. What I can keep to compare. On super org, no super, want one. Age, I can keep it, I can keep the age. Average. And remove this one. I think I should replace it. Here we saw that the average age for a country, for maximum country, the average age was 160 cents. Here that is, we can see. I will remove this one for higher count to make it simpler. To enter only completely. Here we can see this is the average age and this is the count of the worker, the maximum. People of the count are 190 is the 190, 98, which the maximum for all of them. This is a scatter plot. I can see the trends that what are the trends? These are the different methods of showing the data. What that basically these are the only types of visualization. You see waterfall chart. It was also I can also see the same thing in the bar chart as, but here I am using this different approach. For some data it will be more meaningful if I show you scatter plot. Here also you will see this is the scatter plot. Scatter basically matter. Yes, it is scattered and will show the statistics. Let me show. For example, I want to find any correlations, that is, this goes. Hands in hand, it will be in straight same line. If this is y-axis and axis will be there, it will be same line. It's a positive correlation. This is a negative correlation and there's no correlation at all. Basically, I want to compare the probability of two things I can find it on. Base of lines, they are going. If it's this, if it's going this, but if they are scattered, then there won't be much. Oh wait, it won't make much sense. I'm trying to show you another setter plot. See here. Here you can see the comparison is in weight and height. Here you can see that we are doing a scatter plot diagram for weight and height to find the probability, the people who are from basketball. It's in the blue we see that they have more height and also they have more weight. But here on triathlon, which is in green, are you able to see the screen? I'm not missing the date. I'll see. Here you can see this is a trial. And here you can see the data at a high level that it's a trend that the people who are from triathlon, they generally have less height and less weight. But the people who play basketballs, they are scattered all across. But majorly, they are between medium height and high height, and volleyball also. Volleyball, we are able to see that volleyball has been concentrated between the middle height. In a volleyball, there are not no much tall people and not much short people, but they are in a center way. This is all or the basically different variations of seeing the data. Here, if I go to this one, I will go to highlight. Its scatter plot also work in that way. If I get a particular requirement, then I will be able to do it. It's not that we will very casually this all the charts among them bar chart line, chart area chart pivot table, this chart donut and table. This will be the widely used one and also sometimes the KPI visualizes the data on base of number. It will show a number, only just a number, 3T72. Oh yes, there are totally 70. Can expand it more on this. Yes, just a second. Here the average age of an organization is 1435. This is just a API. It will show a number only. These are the figures which shows that what is the higher account, that what is the trend showing. Let me show it to you more. Generic example API. Short. See here the figure is showing I can see the in a bigger picture. Trying to see the count of it at 4950. I'll do the percentage and I can see it. Let me open in a new tab. See, this is also one good example. I created a KPI for the price of tomatoes. It will show in a big format only 101 for a particular year. You come by apples this. This is what this is, KPI chart. It will show things in a bold way. Letters this where I want to see the how many tasks are open, new how many, new documents are there, what is the ratio of open chart. It will give me only numerical formats. A big year number will show which we created. But that KPI is also this. If I want to see that, how many people have. Yes, I created one KPI very long ago. It was to give us, it was a KPI in that it was showing the survey. Whenever a new person joins the company, whenever, let's say, a worker joins a company, the company used to trigger us surveys. Surveys we are bifurcated between different timeline. One was 30 days, 60 days, and 90 days. Based upon their hire date, I created a logic to trigger a business process for that particular survey. One was from hire date to the current date. If it is 30 days, that particular survey will trigger and it will have number of questions. That how did you the onboarding process? Was it simple for you? Was it hard for you? How did it went that? That was the survey and after 60 days also. It will trigger after 90 days or it was triggered. Now the leadership want to see that how many people we are attending. We are completing that survey. I created 3 KPIs, one for 30, 60 and 90. Here it was in 30, 60, 90. It was mentioned how many people completed 30 days. When total people are 100 out of how many completed it or how many rejected it or it's still pending that they can put. That let's say I got a big count at 50% people have yet not completed that 30-day survey. They can now go into the detail of the data and ask their manager to ask their employee to complete that survey. Then after that, once the survey is done, then they can see the count as that. Let's say if the survey consists of this was the future plan, but then plan was dropped. Let's say the survey had some new numbers that out on the base of 1 to 5, how to rate the particular question. Let's say the question is how was your onboarding process? How good it was rated from 1 to 5. Then you can see the average count. If you will see the individual count, then it will vary. Some will rate 1, some will rate 5. You want to be able to understand what is the actual projection of that particular task, that average you will get. Let's say you got 4.5. You came to know that majority of the people are happy because it's an average. But let's say if the average comes at, let's say below 3, then you will understand the majority of them are not happy with the survey or not happy with the onboarding process, but in particular question. This is the main function of the KPI. It shows the thing in a numeric format, only nothing much. It's just plain this. Generally, KPIs are not this big. They are basically shortened and they are kept in this format only. It's basically readable this. And here, let's say I mentioned at average age. Basically, you have seen certain dashboards in dashboard. What they see this particular thing or this particular they've created. I love box, this average age is keeps on changing every month. Let's say they hire too many interns at a time. This count might drop or might increase as depending on this particular one. These all basically works on the requirement only. Basically, I think almost we call all of them. Heat map is also very similar to this one. It will show the heat map. Let me show you an example of heat map. Heat map chart. Heat map charts are where the majority of activity is happening. Here also we will use the count one based upon country. Age group. Age and age group, it means a different way of looking. What is the three dots? Age group is basically, let me put it over here. Just a second. The page got refreshed. Age group is they have created there is a field with the name of age group that it can be by certain naming that millennials, Gen Z, that, or else with certain age brackets that 21 to 30, 31 to 40, that. Which one is what time to use wage and what time to use age group? Age group is when I want to do a grouping of the thing. Let's say I want to an understanding that which age group people are more see age will show. Let's say I have 10 people and 10 people everyone will have, let's say someone is 18, someone is 60, someone is 40, everyone will have its unique value. But age group is what it is grouping the age of them. Let's say if the age of, let me show you with an example only, it will be much simpler for you to understand in this one. I will edit it. And rather than keeping gender, I will keep age group. See? In Australia, people under 20 are 1. People between 21 to 30 are 8. And 31 to 40, 14 here by that. I will be able to see that if there is a country which is aging or there are too many people who are on retiring, see in United States, majority of the here 20 or under 20 workers are under 20, but also 75 people are under 40. Age groups are basically brackets 18 to 21, under 20, 20 and 30, 30 and 40. Just to understand the trends of the age, you're seeing United States there. Or people are over 65 and above us. Let's say I want to see the data in this format. Let me. I don't know why it's not moving. It's coming up. I don't know why, but here the main concept. You understand that will show me that which one is the which one. Ideally, this works very smooth. I don't know why it's lagging too much. It worked. See, I will see the trends of each and every organization here. This, make it bigger one. I will go to see the trends. It's up to me. How, see here? You saw it's up to me. How I keep it. I can keep over here and see the side by side connection, or I can pick this thing and keep on the top and I can compare this also. It's completely upon. Nothing is wrong in this. It's up to me. If I'm able to put it here, it means it's correct. It will be incorrect in a way that I don't want it in that way. Got. If I want the presentation of chart in this way, then this is the correct one. But if I don't this, then it's an incorrect one. Basically, in analytics, nothing is wrong. In projection the data, it's about how you want to understand the data and how you want to keep the data visible. This is the best example to show the age group here. If we see the heat mass, minimize this one. Visualization here, age group. I will keep here and I will country. This is the heat map. UKS. Depending on the color, I will be able to identify that UK has the highest people under 20. And after UK, and not UK. Indonesia, it's India. India has highest number of people under 20. Good. Heat map basically identifies based upon the color. How are you going to do? How to do it? This is basically a heat map. Only, let's say, I want to see this heat map over here. This is the average temperature of 4 cities. One will be the season and one will be the cities. Here we can see that in spring's the maximum, the darker the shade, the more the temperature it is, the more the value it is here. If I see in the spring, the among these 3 or 4 of them, the darker one is Houston. Houston is the hottest. In the springs also, Houston is the hottest in the summer. Among this, all of them, by this, I will be able to identify based upon different colors or the shades of the colors we can. It's upon us how we want to color it. It's sometimes between dark green, yellow light, red and dark red. These are basically color combinations. The bigger the figure, the darker the color it will be. Hmm. Will they ask? What kind of questions they will ask if they are asking somebody? Questions, interview questions in DV visualization, they will focus on how many scenarios or what kind of scenarios have you worked upon you can mention. You can mention that I created a matters report. You can mention that I created a table or pivot table in Discovery Board using this particular data source in that I use this particular fields. I use these particular filters. You can mention that I created a KPI for a particular scenario. You can mention a particular scenario. I gave you an example. I gave you one example that for the survey one. I created the one survey in that I mentioned the KPI that how many people have completed the survey. It will show me the numbers. It will keep a track on that. How daily it will keep a track that it is increasing or decreasing. KPI map. You can give basically different examples. I created this particular visualization, or you can mention also that I created multiple. The main feature of this discovery board is you are not limited to one visualization under one sheet. You are creating multiple visualization. You can pick each and every one thing, and you can mention that created donut chart on this gender graphs or regarding particular comparison of the data. These things are, I mentioned you the mostly used ones. These two used ones are scatterplot, heat map, and KPI and waterfall, these 4 of them, depending on the organization. I have very least used this one. The most used are the remaining ones. This is how we do the working on discovery boards. We generally unselect it. Here show only curated ones. We will unselect it. It will show me at data I can see that many things are coming in age if in previously it wasn't showing. All the things, see if I do it again, only 2 things are showing in age, but when I do uncurate it, I am seeing more fields into it. It will bring all the call field as. See here 2 or 4 conditions. Are there calculator fields which are already created in the Workday? I will get those as and here undo and redo that function also be explored. And let's say if I don't want to, I can also collapse this section. I can do this, and I can select it. I will have a bigger visualization of this particular charts. I hope you understand this is the KPI charts and all the SketchUp plot KPI. They're basically putting the data in different format and understanding on a macro level because the management won't see that. Data in each and every. Basically, the main purpose of Discovery Board is what to visualize the data. Who will visualize this? The executive will do now. That executive, any organization are busy in different works into too many decision and all if they will see each and every decision. Data in a very detail, it will be hard for them to analyze it. To make the work simpler, we come in place to create those visualizations that they will get an idea. Here, if I show you this one, you will be able to see the trends at a glance. Only that, for now, what is there if this is bigger and this is shorter one? You will be able to identify a higher head count. Grew by 100 and then it kept on decreasing. It was 100 on the gen, but then it decreases to 68. You don't need to see the data for any quarter, or any for every month or every organization. At a glance, be able to understand it. That is the main purpose of the visualization. And for that basketball, also example for the basketball, which I wish, which we saw earlier, the basketball example. In that also, you will be able to understand that for which for which, let me open it, we will get an idea that in the triathlon. The height and weight is not much required, but if someone is in the basketball, then I will require more weight and more height as sorry about it. That is it. Do you want more time to practice or shall we begin with a sheet or introductory? How do you want to do it? Tomorrow practice that. I'll give you some time to practice. Thank you. Let me know only now. Worksheet is pending from our end. Worksheet is also not a bigger topic. It will hardly take a day or two for us. In that, learn what is worksheet, what are the security domains to enable for worksheet, and how we can insert already created report into the worksheet. That's a simple. In that, understand that. How if you want to ingest any data via worksheet, then we don't need to download it. Generally, what we do is, let's say I created a report. Let me see if the report is available. Or because what happens is there are certain limitations to our working. Let me run this report. I ran this report and now I want to do some calculation. You also know that Workday calculated fields, I am able to do some custom calculated fields by a custom calculated fields in Workday. But assume that there is a scenario where I am not. There is a limitation from the Workday and I'm not able to do it. Over there, I can download this into export to worksheets from here or export to access from here, or I can download it here. If I click over here, export to Excel, it will download in the access format. I click on it, it will export the document that will download. Here I got this downloaded and this, but it will open in Excel format. Got it. Here now I can apply my all the custom formulas. Let's say I want to apply, let's say any formula trim or something that I want to send the data, I want to cleanse the data. I can do that from here as rather than downloading it, I can. And directly export it to worksheet from here, then it will be available in the worksheet and I will be able to do the working. That is the main concept. It's a basically a inbuilt Excel functionality. You are getting it as C. Practice the discovery board. You understood Prism discovery board and worksheet. All are same. The more you practice, the more you will be able to understand it. For the migration part, I will just see. Let's say if you want to migrate a report or a call field, what you do, just do it, go to relate action when you click. Over here, you will be able to see the migrate option. Currently, we don't have any system connected to it for all or something. All we don't have security to do it. That's why we are not getting the option. Otherwise, when you work for an organization, you will get a migration option over here. All migrate, it will be there. When you go to MyJet here, it will return transporter 2.2. When you click on it, it will ask us, yes, one question the migrant field, how we will configure for us somebody else. How do we get the migrant security person? Only give access. Yes, the security personally does that. When I will give my example only. I was assigned to a client last year in November, but I didn't got the migration access until April. They wanted that in order to do it. First of all, we need a consultant who is experienced. We are all experienced people, but they want that they should be familiar with our data. In November, December, January, February, March, April. It's almost 6 months. After 6 months, they were sure that we are good, we are familiar with the data and all. Was that they gave us the migration access. That too, not to prod, but from sandbox to implementation. Then implementation to another implementation. Then in and sandbox that. It means in turn, not prod tenant, not the prod tenant. If I want to migrate into prod, I need to contact the manager, their manager, and they will be taking care of it. Generally, as a contingent worker means see, you might be directly enrolled as a contingent worker, or you might be directly enrolled as a contingent worker, or let's say you join any company, let's say Exchanger, TCS, or Capgemini. Those are the service-based companies. From there also, you will be joining, though you will be joining on behalf of them, but will be ideally called as a contingent worker. In those scenarios also, the issue will be the scenario will be the same. They won't provide the access to directly unless the project is running in a good pace and they have a conversion in advance. Otherwise, you'll see that the security will be delayed on because security is very related to the data privacy and all. They won't generally trust person who is just newly joined with all their important. It takes time for any of the organization to trust. They will go in the class. In general, any job, they will give you low-end jobs for initial people. Correct, correct, correct. That is the case. Now we can explore this worksheet, but I think this report has enabled for Prism, enabled for Q. Let me check if this report is available or not. First of all, start with the topic of that with the worksheets. I hope this presentation is visible with the presentation. First of all, what is worksheet? Worksheet is a spreadsheet component in Workdata that enables ad hoc data exploration, analysis, visualization, and collaboration with live transactional data. It's a worksheet, it's a spreadsheet. Spreadsheet is the thing which we say Excel. Excel is generally referred to spreadsheet. And basically, a generic word for it is a spreadsheet. Just we refer Xerox. Xerox is not anything. Xerox is the name of the company which makes a photocopy machine. But the real thing which you're doing is photocopying a particular document. Spreadsheets are generic word for that. Branding a Google Sheet, Microsoft Excel worksheet. But the general thing, what is spreadsheet? In that, for Workday users, employee, managers, executives can collaborate with secure live Workday data as external data using the Workday browser application. You can use Workday mobile app to view the workbooks. Workday also has an application, Workday mobile app. But it will be very limited just for view access only. You won't be able to do some modification and it's very in initial stage only. Some of them have implemented it, but it will be basic functionality just to apply the leaves, to give the time off and all. In that also you will be able to see the workbook. In addition to including nearly all well-known spreadsheet functions, such as those in Google Sheet and Microsoft. Worksheet includes many additional worksheet unique function as I told you, all the formulas which are in Google Sheet and Microsoft Excel are very similar in Worksheet as, let's say I want to do a sum of anything. It will be same equals to sum and select the number of columns or cells which I want to do the summation of and we are all done. Worksheet was real-time user experience, presence, information, secure data sharing and engaging visualization. Why they emphasis on real-time thing when you work on worksheet. There's no lag, first of all, and when you import the data from worksheet from any Workday report, you will be able to work on a real-time scenarios. You can mention the refresh rate of that particular report. If you want that report to refresh every second, that will refresh every second. If you don't want to refresh it every second, if you want to refresh on every day or every week, that will work on that way. It's up to you. How do you want to refresh that data? Refresh as in, let's say today connected with the report it has 100 workers and let's say after a week it increased to 110. Do I want to reflect every weekly basis, monthly basis, what it's basically up to my requirement? Got it then. For example, you can create a new workbook and then insert the data from Workday report in the workbook. As I told you, you get first of all try and do your functioning from your end only, and from your end you can enter the data and do the things. But apart from that, you can also insert the workbook. Apart from that, you can share the workbook with your colleagues. They don't have to go outside of the Workday ecosystem and see that files. When you share it, they will get into the notification that you have shared that worksheet workbook with you and they will be able to collaborate with you. Then they are also able to comment on the cell or the entire workbook and tag that for notification as just normal Excel. Also, in normal Excel, you can comment on cell. Let's say if there's an issue with the formula, I can add a comment over it. Let's say if someone hover over the cell, they'll be able to see that particular comment. Or let's say if there's a field with the name of Baghdad, but you don't know what's the meaning of Baghdad, then you can. I add a comment. That Baghdad means begin date. You don't have to provide a separate document for it. You get just add a comment to it apart from it and collaborate with edit in real time scenarios. You can edit the access as an edit the workbook on real time basis. Create a name version to save a snapshot of changes. Let's say if I want to save the changes as of end of the day or as of a particular day, I can save it in that particular snapshot. As after that, I can also download the workbook in different formats: XLX, which is a Microsoft format, then PDF format, HTML format. I can download it in that format also. Let's say I want to do any modification. I doubt still here no. Then moving ahead, the security domains for worksheet. To get the security domains, you need these two domains activated for you: worksheets and manage bot user conversation. Walk. It is generic access to the worksheet and manage one user conversation is basically when you enable this, you will be able to comment on it and you will do back things on it or to do a conversion into it. This new security domains you need to enable it. Apart from it, there is a tenant setup as for it. Generally, it will be done, but it's a good to know that to enable formula, writer and a dysfunction ID, we need to access a task and edit tenant setup system. Let me show you. Over here, edit tenant setup system. I think we won't have access to it. I feel no, we don't have access to perform since I don't have to do this because it's here it is coming. It will refresh it. It won't stay on that because I don't have. Generally, those access are very crucial. It's very something related to security. We won't be doing it. But it's a good to know thing. I tried to show you, but due to security, I won't be able to because this is a tenant setup. It's something related to security as the implementer side. But when you go to it, you saw one page got opened and got refreshed. When you do that particular step, let me show it to you. When you do that particular thing need to go work the conversion setting and enable these particular options and it's nothing much. There is nothing tricky in it. It's just following the steps. If you follow the steps also, you will be able to do it. It's nothing that hard. This particular steps which I mentioned, it's very basic setup. This security part, this is tricky, which I explained to you in the previous session as how to do the configuration as, but this below tenant of the setup, the tenant setup for the worksheet is very easy. When you just follow the steps, I have provided very crisp steps. You don't have to navigate and search for it. If this particular task name also I have highlighted in the boards, you can follow that. First thing first. When you go to this, enable edit current setup system task. Then in that you need to scroll down to a section with the name of Workday Conversation Settings. There is a section with the heading of it. When you go to this particular heading, you need to enable this particular option for Gen AI. It's any is nothing. It's just a AI functionality provided for the worksheets. Autofill correct and all it's just an additional functionality apart from it. You need to go to system setup file type section. Make sure you include the access file type and all other file type that you want to support in the worksheet. As you referred in the previous slide, we are able to access the worksheet with Workday's data other system as we are able to work on Workday report. We are importing from inside But for external data, we need to enable certain formats. Already in the system, those things are enabled. In case they are not enabled, you can check with this step. You can go to edit setup system, and then go to system setup section. Under it, file type as system instruction. In that, here they say we recommend to support this particular file type as CSV, HTML, XLS, XLSM and XLAX. Sometimes certain file types are restricted. Why? Because sometimes what happens, hacker might store some very, you can say, corrupt file in this particular domains. And this might also affect the system because Workday deals with very critical data, personal information of the worker, and if finance is implemented, it will have the financial data as. But in that case, certain the list will be very long when you open it. The list is very long. It will cover almost every data types, but these are the recommendation which you can at least enable in the beginning. And in general cases, all of them might be by default be there. I doubt till here and understanding anything. No, now this is the next concept. First of all, show you where we will be able to see when going to the center, where you will to find the first of all worksheets. When you go to home page, it's important that you have the drive access because you will have the access to discovery boards. That means you will have the access to a drive. When I click on this profile, and I will be able to see the drive for discovery board and for worksheet. It will be in the drive only. First step is to have access to drive. Secondly, to have the access of work. What is workbench here? Any related workbench with worksheets, or is it totally different? Workbench is a different terminology. I guess I haven't came across workbench. I have heard just a second. Workbench is actually related to SQL. Yes, the primary. For here, I'm able to see the primary function of work by things to support applications involving large tools. Basically, the ad sponsor I to do is to MySQL and SQL development work. It's completely towards the SQL query database management, but nothing related to it. The concept that workbench is very different and worksheet is different. Worksheet is actually very basic thing. It's Excel but on Workday. And that is the simplest thing which I explained. But that is what, but why I'm explaining you this. You might be also using Excel in your day-to-day life. I won't be going through those that. How to use Excel because everyone knows that. How to use the Excel, what are the formulas, and the formula is, this is very long and we are not able to call it in every formula, but here we will support the what is the thing different thing is that how we can import the Workday reports or how we can use that functionality inside the Workday. Those things we will explore more. Excel is everyone are aware of the Excel and worksheet. Why we are covering worksheet? Because see the main thing common within Prism, Discovery Board and worksheet. First of all, I will prioritize which is the most used one. Prism is the most used one, Discovery Board is the second used one, and Worksheet is used, but depending on the company, people have started using it, but they generally prefer to use a Microsoft Excel, being frank, but people are slowly moving towards this, but very less people are there because they have the subscription. Basically, when you join a company, they will give you access to Microsoft Teams. Microsoft Teams is a product of what Microsoft Microsoft also creates Teams, Outlook, and also Office. Microsoft will consist of Word, PPT, Excel, and all. When they get access to this particular Microsoft Teams, they get a package of Outlook for emails, for documents, PPT, and all this thing they will get free of cost. That's why they don't enable worksheet in this Workday, because why to pay? Here and all, because they are also getting in Teams. Got it. When I click on Drive, it will show all the data. As I told you in the previous session, Drive is a storage, just Google Drive and iCloud. In that, I will be able to see all my data, all the things which I have created, discovery board sheets, and all here you are able to see. This is the icon of discovery board in the purple. I can also create the discovery volumes, the worksheets. I can also filter it out. Yes, no question, I got it. Yes, yes. Then the filter part here I will be able to be a result on the folder. These are the icons. Basically, these are icons which you need to keep in mind. That's for the identification purpose. Only that it will be easy for you that here the favorite this is if you have mark. Something favorite is a discovery board as we created the document template. Some Word file format, Microsoft Word and the document. Template is exactly the same, almost similar than any media file. Let's say uploaded any video audio that the notification number is there, presentation is Pete and workbook is Excel. Then I can also filter it based out on ownership, my file shared with me. Here also I can do it on that basis. I can also search it from here. To create a new worksheet, I can click on new. And here it will give me all the options which you saw in the filter. I can also upload it from here if I want to. I want it over here, but let's say I want in the workbook. I click on the workbook. I need to give a name. I'll give DV Worksheet Learning. Create. As you can see, now the worksheet will be created and the user interface or UI of this will be very much similar to the Google Sheet. If I let me open a Google Sheet. Google Sheets. If I open this images, see the increment is the user and 1. Question. I'm not sure. Yes, yes. Your question is that implemented from she tried sheet that in that information is not available. Actually, they haven't provided that information, but it's very similar. You can see all the things are same. I assume it's from them only because the things are available over here, and this is very much similar maybe, but they might have took this and might have done some changes based upon their needs. They might have took the base of it and did some modification. But if I refer to documentation of worksheet, as they haven't mentioned anything in the documentation that they have did in the partnership of Google. As you can see all the things here, the name of the fonts, the font size, bold, italic, underline, and all the things are same as that. This Excel or Google Sheet also, but additional thing which you guys add live data or here sharing option is there or here there's a comment option is there. I can add the comments and let's say I want to add a comment over here. I can add a comment. This is the user interface here. This thing is very generic over here, insert and all. I will go one by one. First of all, file you need to rename, copy, share, convert to template. Let's say I want to convert this particular to PDF or to HTML format. You remember when we just saw a minute ago the slide which I showed. In this slide, it was showed that we are able to export this worksheet into different formats: HTML, Excel, PDF. This is the option to convert to a tablet. I can merge it with other workbooks. I can rename, copy, print. I can download as see where the different options are there. If you see, you remember I mentioned you. To enable this particular .voxif format, it's a parent migration file. What is it when I migrate any Excel sheet from one turn to another? It will save this a workbook in .voxif format. If we work for Microsoft Excel, it will save the file in an extension .pdex.xsox. If I see a PDF, it will be an extension of .pdf. If I save a photo, it will be in JPG or JG format. Likewise, Workday in its backend store this into WXF format. If I want to migrate this to another tenant, I need to first of all convert into this one, and then I will be able to migrate it. These are the different options which are available. Is that tab separated? Fab is what that is, just a pipe or basically a space minutes fab. And when you go to note and you will add tab, it will add a space. HTML license and versions. As I told you, we can take the snapshot of it as here. Let's say I want to do a walking and to add a version, that version of October. Then I can name that particular version and save it. I can add different versions. Version is what it's a snapshot of a particular month, a particular day, or that particular working. Let's say in particular version, I created some logic, I created some formula. I can save that. Rather than creating multiple files for the same type of data, I can only create one file and have intact all the different version in that same file. Only got it, that's the reason of versions. Here, and the info is what is the file name and what is the difference for me. I click on this version. Is this version to Workday ID? Server build. There are very generic data. Who is the owner? Time zone, cell count and all. Then in edit option, edit is similar to the other one, copy Workday ID and all. These are very similar to the sheets, whole sheet. Go view views freeze span. If I want to freeze the columns, I can do that. Units I want to give units currency or some kaijis or some units from there. If I want to give full screen, because this is very limited, you can see the worksheet panel is very less utilized. I can do it and insert a format. Format is all the formatting options which are available in wrap text. Align border, cell color, fonts and number. The number should be negative or it should be decimal. 1%, whatever it is, then insert and insert. I can insert a pivot table image comment. I can insert a row, columns and everything. I can also insert a function as in data. In data, add live data refresh or live data schedule. Live data refresh, as I told you, I can mention that when I want to refresh a particular data, I can configure it from here. Only today, I'm just giving you a brief about it, what are the things are available, and the next session will cover it, the things in detail as in the things which are different from the Excel. You can also go through that particular option. You can sort it. We can define name, protect range, auto, sum. These are some very forms which are used in Google's Excel. I can filter it on the data, private filter and public filter. You might remember in Excel, I don't know if there's an update for it. But what I remember is when you sell it, when you share an Excel with someone, if they do some modification, that it will also reflect in your system as. But let's say you want to, let's say you got, let's say your manager assigned a task 10 people and you are one of them. But the list is very long. There is 100 tasks available and 10 people are there. Let's say each people got 10 tasks. In that case, you want to refresh on your data. All the time you apply a filter on your name, but someone else is also working. They will apply their filter and your data will vanish off in that case. You can apply a private filter which will be only visible to you only. Let's say you apply, the task will be same. Let's say here a task is create, I'll just show you. Create custom report and the task is assigned to. Let's say here task is assigned to Raja, not here. Task is assigned to Raja and here the another people names are there and the list is very long. In that case, what I can do is I can apply a private filter and I want only the tasks which are assigned to Raja only. This I will be able to do it apart from. I can. These are the public and private filters. These are the user guides. Let's say if I'm confused, let's say if I want to work on putting a formula and not able to find it, I can always refer to the user guide to function reference. And function reference are nothing. It just shows what are the functions which are available. It redirects me to the Workday documentation. For date, these are the date conversion function, engineering function, functions, information functions. These are depending on the scenario use. These are not any particular means. If you also search on the Google as Microsoft function, will get an endless list of the functions, but you will use on your needs only engineering functions. The people who have that particular need, only they will be only able to use it. These are the functions we will be using based upon your requirements. I think this is also indicative. The list might be long the workday. The function user guide describe all the function in the worksheet. User yes, this is the user interface I and by clicking on this you will be able to. This is a formula. You can also write formula here as and also here as this is a formula. Evaluator. I want to calculate any formula. Let's say 1 plus 1 and evaluate. Let's say if it does for you. It shows error. The formula syntax was detected and here I can again. Here it is giving. It too I don't want changes directly over here but rather to do it first before changes. I can do it over here. Only this is the formula editor bar over here. Cover the rest things in the next session. But let me go to a drive again and show it to that once we create it. It will be automatically saved. You will be able to see in the drive, only see baby box. Learning, it's created by me, access is only me and here it is given modified. Date as of the latest date of the system, did currently this system is using Pacific time and I guess in a Pacific time it's 7 am. I think because of that it is giving at the same time. Let's say your system is in ES time zone. ES time zone will come. That's a tenant level setup. You don't need to do anything. It's a tenant level setup. But for information and letting, because sometimes what happened is people used to face some issue that I created this thing in Indian evening, but it is showing in some morning time. But that is because your company's parent has been set up according to the US timings or Europe timing. If according to that, I will be able to see the data in that particular time zone. I know this is not working anyway. We know that it's hard, won't work, but it will be. When see this one, maybe I'm not sure, can we use this or? Over here, I think no, it's not the correct way. we need to use some other way out of it. Basically, you need to convert means date into that particular format that it extracts that 30. First of all, you need to extract the date difference out of it, or basically calculate the difference between the date. Rather, you can use the calculate date difference. When you go to function, search over it date difference. Date difference. Your difference is there. Days between is there. Days between is there. Scroll below today. Go more down. Days between. See, here you can find the difference between the two. You can find the logic that days between, then bracket the date and the order, that ship date and order date. You can then calculate accordingly. But we have only one field ship date only because today's date means I need to take this when I need to use both. No, it will take. Take today's date as offsets, a dynamic one. It will change every time if I change everyone. I mean this way, yes, days between yes and you have to type in 2 days in bracket. Yes, today there's already a bracket. Yes, today and then comma and then the other date. After today, yes, comma. Oh, and use comma only as for that, yes. Remove the minus and only add the comma. Not 1 second. It's lost. You can maximize the screen and then I don't know how to go. This one is not maximizing. It is not a way. Window is not expanding. Are you clicking on that, maximizing the screen? I did maximize here. Still, I'm not able to expand this. No, I can you? Go to that. Yes, that's email bar where it's all the things. Yes, or that. There's a magnifying glasses there where the email address is there. A website address, or click on it and click reset. Place between today and remove minus and add comma. Now go to the detailed data on that above one. In that detailed data, see if you are able to see that data or not. Yes, on the side. Yes, it's good to save. Just yes, there only above near the find field is there. Yes, that option. Here you can see that whether you are getting anything or not. Now the call field is working. No, it's all about using the field. By doing that, you will be easily able to. That the question is whenever I use it, I have to use the same functions on whatever library available in the functions list. Basically, yes, it's a guide. There won't be anything apartments out of that. It's a syllabus. Basically, there won't be nothing out of it. I was not sure. I was looking all of them. There is no conditional, only logically there. But yes, that's why I had a note as that this is an indicative one and this is not the exhaustive list. I thought that you will confuse. See if I explain in the law, in the words, it might be confusing for you. I thought that may be asking you. That's why I didn't move. Likewise, you saw that it's very easy. And you also saw that you didn't have to add a minus if you open it. That again, that function library, you will see that the function mentions that you need to add a comma. You need to add a comma. Everything is mentioned, how to use it, what to use it that. My question was maybe within a day, within a date. I was not sure about that ship data. This is the date. I was little confused, but I don't know why, and I was not. Should data also is, we can take dynamically and our data also take dynamically. It will take dynamically every time. It's actually made in that way that every day, if you run it, let's say today it is coming under that particular bracket, but it might happen that after a week it might go outdated. It's all in that. Got that's what you expected. Yes, I need to publish after this or now anything else here? No, actually I was expecting the same. The formula is working. I mentioned the end step that it should get published. And as a practice, you can do one thing. You can add a what to say. A discovery board out of it. You can make some discovery board out of it. Using it once, it's all done in the end. It will be also practice for discovery boards as got it. How to discovery board here. Now let's say here is the let's say you need to publish it. From here, now we cannot write yes. Yes, from here we can't do it first. Of all, you need to complete it, and once it published, I just done it, then you need to publish it. Once that done, will you ever do it? I'll do, I can reduce. You created, you find any difficulty in creating, it was easy, it's easy. You mentioned it's only one, basically only worker, both of them are worker. I didn't use multiple. Business updates main purpose was to first of all have a hands on it once. Main purpose is to understand the concept, how to find a call field and how to use it. Once you will be able to do it, then no matter that the complexity is not in merging too many data sets together. See, you just need to find a key, a join key. You created a join and you do the, can you show me the join as and every transformation? Sure, I'll do that. This is the lineage BDS and DDS. Yes, on the DDS. Employee overview, click on it, and DDS employee overview, click and edit transformation. Inputs the in stage 1 filter you asked me to filter. Is that yes? Go to join and edit. It is first name, last name, last name. First name, last name. Yes, correct. You can also use employee as, but I haven't. I haven't mentioned it, but just on a safer side, I'm just mentioning that you can use employee as basically the more the number of keys, the better it is. That's a key point of join. Join is what to maintain the accuracy of data use as keys as much as possible. First name and last name are the keys. What is the key here? Main purpose of the key is yes, identity matching. It is found in here. It will show that what is matching. See, employee is 100% match. More number of the keys, the better it is. Poor. But we should keep in mind that it should be same in both of them. It shouldn't be different for all of them. All the time it is good to take suggestions or you need to come up with your own. Suggestions are actually helpful. You can first of all take help of the suggestions. But still you need to test it because I have seen, based upon my personal experience, suggestions not every time work in our once in I's favor every time. It's better to not always rely on suggestions means you can take a reference of it, but still you need to test it. Based upon their suggestions, I have one more question I tend of asking. This is 3.0. How to reduce 3 or something? Correct. You need to scroll. You can save it and come out of this particular thing. Scroll more down. On the left side, you will see. And you saved all the development till here. Save. Go to Manage field. Click on Edit. Now scroll down in which you need to do this change. Now there is a setting option in that one only. Near numeric, there is 3 line below. Click on it. Digit after a digit before, digit after denotes that how much digit you want after the decimal. Digit before is fine. You need to just reduce the digit up after yes, you can make it 0 or 1, 2, whatever you came 0 and then and you can see preview. And then you can scroll on the and see that the changes which you have done are as you expected or not is done. Then you are fine and you can save it. Thank you. And now one error is coming and not error, but alert is coming that employee is coming. And now what happened is there are 2 employees in the join. You need to unselect one employee because when we apply a key join, at that time it will select both of them. We can to order repetition. We can avoid it. Yes, you can untick it. Once you untick it and save it, it will automatically go. Oh yes, once you will gain expertise, you will stop using the previews also. You will know that this will reflect in my only yes as a beginner. It's fine to use the preview. It's actually started practice. I wouldn't say not to use, but the more you practice, the more you will know that this thing will work in my tour only. You won't even use that preview. But I was this will, yes, yes, no, no. I was just saying go ahead. No, please say this. When you will build it, you will get your hands on it. You can compare before your assignment. Now you created join, filter, manage field all by your own, all the stages. You built it on your own. This you need to practice it based upon this assignment. But then you can make it more harder by assuming by your own self that I will do this join. I will use this filter. Basically, the main purpose is to have a hands on different styles or using different calculator fields. See, now you have first name and last name together. Now create your requirement for yourself. Only now I want to concrete themselves. I want only a name which should be first name and last name's combination. Now you should make a call field out of it, and you should know that among the functional library which I can use it, which function is more useful for me. Kim here, let's say Kim Slatter is there. You need to combine them. And also while combining, you should keep in mind that there should be space in between them. This what you need to do is you can experiment with all the things, because see, providing scenarios on each and every call field is difficult. You can pick each and every one. You can create your own scenarios and you can start working on it. Got it? Got it? Also, you can see that, see if in join stage, the current performance rating is with decimals because you made those changes in the manage field stage. When you go to manage field stage, it will reflect over there. Even I can edit this BDS also. I can add manage stages there, manage fields there. I can add it. Yes, it happens. It happens. It's good that you brought this topic up. Let's say I created a BDS, I created import, but let's say going ahead, I did some modification to a BDS, or let's say we are deprecating a BDS and we want to create a new one. I can change my import, but connecting a new import might also make changes in the rest stage, as I need to adjust the other stages based upon the error. Let's say currently when you go to import, let's say I'm getting 5 fields, 5 columns data I'm getting. But let's say now I deprecated VDS employee performance and now I am using VDS employee performance updated. It's a new one. Let's say it has 10 fields. In join also it will ask me whether to include the rest 5 fields or not. It will give me an alert into filter. Also in field, it won't give me alert unless any field is removed from it which are being used in the filter. In manage field also, it will give me alert that these 5 fields are not visible. Do you want me to be visible or not? Got it. Basically, it's if you are connecting your data import with something new. It will show some alert or error. If data is missing, it will show error. And if it's not any missing but additional data, it will show alert that certain things not enabled to see it, if you want to enable it or not. Got one question, Davian. If I want to add, suppose I added a new column here. Does it automatically affect here? Or now we need to combine? We need to do anything for this. Data, the Rev dataset. It's added a couple of fields here. Age is not there or something else. Here is something, these fields are not there. If I modify in this BDS, the BDS might use this data, maybe other data sets also in data set. It will affect subsequently, or do we need to go on manually and change in this derived data set? You need to manually do that. It won't reflect it by default. You need to do manually. Just let's say let's say you added an employee ID. In that, when you added an employee ID, you get an alert in Manage Free. Go to, I will show you. Go to Join. Oh, yes. And scroll down and go to detail. Employee benefit, the secondary pipeline. Yes, now click on employee ID below in the selection list. Here I am getting another call field because there are two similar names. It will automatically take employee ID too. Now give done. Now here in manage field you can see any alert is coming. Now you go to the manage field and go to edit. You will see an error. Yes, found in previous days. A new field implied 90 text was found. What will happen? New field is there. Now you scroll down. See, now it is showing that new field is added. You want to see not, and you can see the icon is hidden, means it is not open to see it. It's already there. Do you want to enable in order? By this it will automatically reflect into the remaining, let's say make. I made change. The first or second stage, and that change will automatically flow to the below stages. Oh, and other question, we can order change order in management only the field amount under the column yes, you can click on it. Let's say here on the yes, click anywhere. And now three or dots are coming. Now it will ask me click on it. It got unselected. Yes, click on it. Move row. Move first. Or move last. Move row, it will ask. After which field, let's say I want to move it after any particular field, it will move over there or move first and last. It will be completely top or completely down or move row. Let's say I want it after supervise the organization only. And I can mention that after supervise the organization, I think that was also part of the assignment. I moved it. That's the way. I just came here. It took me some time. I was confused. Where should I move? Is it managed field or somewhere? But lately, it took me some time to understand. Also, I was not sure that I want to make sure I'm confirming. Here, from here, only in the managed field, only we can move. We cannot move somewhere else. Views. I was trying to change the order before I didn't create manage field. How do I move? That was confused. Then I managed field and added and all those things. Second vote then. Thanks. Anything else? I mean, I can create this one on the other one. Actually, for the practice, I only had one. I didn't have any ready one. I created this one. As I told you, there is no any particular set of this assignment. If you will do it, then you are all done. The more you do, the better you are. You try to create scenarios for you. Let's say I told you to include first time and last time together. Do it from your own only. It will give you hands and experience for you. I'll do it today. I will just concatenate whatever how to concatenate. What field I need. You can scroll. You can go through the function library and see which one is more suitable to you, the more suitable function it is. Upon the data available, it will be easy for you to do it. Now you can remove that join. We actually don't want it. I just showed you what example. Purpose. Let's say here the employee came. Likewise, any other field might also come. Not. From there in the secondary library, the BDS employee. How to libraries mean we can go from here. Only If you go to any add field, any add call field, when you click on add call field, you will be able to access that function library. You can give done on it. You want to open the function library and you can see add call field is there. You guys, for two steps are there. Either you can open existing calculator field or click on add field, which is on top of the table, yes, and then open the window to expand it. Dialog box over. Then here you can search concrete or whatever function you want to do for. Concrete is there. Now here you can mention if you want to enter a space also. So let's say here, let's say you do a concrete first name and last name, but it won't have space between them because it won't identify. You remember when we were ingesting the data, we mentioned to remove the white spaces. Yes, yes. Because of that reason, there won't be much white spaces between them. There won't be any white spaces. For that you need to add an artificial. Means artificial space. For that, in inverted commas, you need to add a space. That's it. When you open, let's say first name, comma, inverted comma of the space and comma, and add the last name. It will act as a space. Again, Rita, I will show how to add artificial space. And everything should be in that bracket, only of that. Yes, every formula should if or else it will give an error. First name, comma, first name, and then between the inverted comma, you need to give us space. And then last name. First, I would say try doing without the inverted comma. You will understand how it shows and what is the difference between both of them. You will find the importance of inverted comma. You can try first of all removing the inverted comma and try applying it and see the difference. That what, how much space you should give, that all things you can determine by it. I'll do that. And you're feeling the enteric space is coming. But if you remove that inverted comma from, then it will. You can mention full name over there as a full name. Inverted comma also if you remove it completely. Let's say if you want first name and last name. Also, then it will there see it's coming this inverted comma is just we are adding the space. Anything between inverted comma it will consider as a string or remains as a text it will take as a kiswi. If you enter 0, 1, 2, anything they will take, but the string is 1 comma other field which one to concrete. It's between that in inverted comma. Let's say you add hyphen as hyphen will come. Got whatever it won't take as a minus because we have mentioned in a inverted comma. It will take as it is. It converts into a string. I'll play around this one more. The more you play around, as I told you, the more you play around, the more you will understand. It's actually very easy. Prism is very easy. The more you will practice, the more you will have a hands on it and on more complex scenarios when you work in your day-to-day work life. Then your skills will be polished more and more. It's not I have created this data set. I personally say that I feel sometimes that I am learning new each and every day because sometimes the scenarios might be very different. It's not scenario, basically not from Prism end, but the complexity of the data which we get makes us use some stage and filters and calculate fields, which we may not touch or we may not utilize on day-to-day basis. One question we are here only if I go to data catalog, let's say I bought here. Once I publish, also still I can able to modify this DDS. Yes. Once you publish a DDS, ideal practice is to create another DDS and just import it. No, add another stage and publish it. Make a copy should be also fine. You can mention that DDS is there, rename it as PDS and remove that copy. P4. PDS and remove that copy. And that API name is also copy from APS copy. And gives description, you can mention whatever you want. That's fine. Now it is suggested that you should publish this one. Whenever you make any changes, you need to publish it again, or make a cycle, or make a schedule of publishing it. Otherwise, it won't be available in publishing for, let's say, discovery board or for report. You can create a schedule of daily, monthly, for early, whatever you want and click submit. This is one time published and schedule is recurring base. Now you will go to the activities and just near the fields. Yes, below where field is written, that field. Correct, correct. You will be able to see that your process is happening. See, and you will click. Refresh. Yes, click on it in progress. It is in progress. Once it is completed, it will show as completed and how many rows it has published. It will come over here. Let's say here for us the sample data is 20K. When we see we are only able to see maximum 20,000 rows. But when we publish it, if the rows published are in lakhs also, it will mention that this many number of rows we have published. Let's say if it is lakhs or thousands, 5 lakhs, 10 lakhs, 20 lakhs, it will show that this many rows we have published. Sampling, it will show only 20K. Sorry, I didn't got you. Sampling, it will show only 20K. Sampling, it will go show 20K. And when we publish it will show us that how many actual data it has published. Oh, total number of rows here. That's what you're saying. Let's say whatever million rows are, it may be million rows, but see all 20K. It will. I won't be able to see that. Let's say here. Let's say it has published 10 lakh. Or 20 lakh means 1 million or 10 or 2 million, 5 million data it got published. But I won't be able to see it. But I will be able to see the number that this much data is already there. Let's say in future, let's say you publish the data set. And let's say in between, let's say you are publishing this on recurring basis. You came to know that I generally have when you publish it. Generally give 5 million, 50 lakhs of data, 50 lakhs of rows are being published daily and sometimes it changes depending on higher and higher. Sometimes get removed, sometimes someone get higher. It's one leg of deviation is there. But let's say there's a sudden drastic change. Let's say it suddenly decreased to 45 lakh or it suddenly increased to 55 lakh, or let's say 60 lakhs. As by this number, you will be able to know that something is something is fishy over here. We need to check your logic again. That is there any sudden, any change which is resulting into it, or what is the issue? That you can check that. Are there any sudden terminations happening, or sudden hiring is happening, or your logic is not working because you also added a filter condition? Is it? Because if there's a sudden decrease in number, it might be that some filter condition you added. It is resulting into the filtering of too many workers from that list. That is, you will be able to. The main purpose of this activities is to show that thing. And sometimes it also fails us, let's say on recurring basis. It would put, let's say here you are using both the reports, there's no issue. But sometimes let's say the file is using SFTP, is way it is picking files from somewhere else. Let's say someone has not tapped that file in particular folder. This is recurring. It will go. Let's say it has mentioned that at 8 p.m. you go on this folder, find this file and pick it up and process it. It's 8 and it goes to the folder, and let's say the file is not available. When the file is not available, it will wait for a few seconds. If not, then it will show an error that this particular publish got failed, or this particular thing got failed. The data wasn't loaded. Because the main reason is that file wasn't there. That the file was not there. Data is not there that got. You can refresh it as. You can click on refresh. Yes. It's already published. Here it is 26 rows published, and here you can see the runtime 22 minutes 7 seconds. Runtime is also important. I don't know why it took 2 minutes. This one. No, that's fine. It actually happens. It takes 2 minutes one. Sometimes it takes seconds, depending on the complexity of the data. If the data is too complex or the data is too much, it will take. Sometimes it will take 20 minutes as not an issue. But let's say it is time limit. No, there is no time limit as such. It will kept on running. I have seen in my experience that it kept on running 10, 12 hours. But ideally it's not that. Basically, by your experience, you will get to know that this thing should get published within this many minutes. It's mostly all the things get published within an hour, not more than an hour is maximum. No matter what the data is, it gets published very quickly. It doesn't take months, less than hour it will take. Hour is too many complexity and all is there. It reaches an hour, that is what I was coming. Let's say here it took 2 minutes and it's a recurring base, it is daily, that it is taking 2 minutes daily plus or minus some more. Seconds will take, let's say 1.5 minutes or 2.5 minutes, but it is, let's say, suddenly taking 20 minutes, 30 minutes. That means there is some issue why it is taking much long. If it's though there is some issue with the data set or linears or some logic, and the logic was less in the scenario. Yesterday it was working fine, today taking 20 minutes, 2 minutes. Wait to see no why it is taking 20 minutes. Do we get some kind of stat somewhere? Or you have to debug yourself? No, we have to debug ourselves only. There is no stats available, but sometimes with my experience is the main reason is that the SEPI file was not available, and because of it, it processes and data, and it is happening that, and from past 1 to 2 months, we in our client organization also we are facing same issue that 2 to 3 days. It happened in past 2 months that it kept on running only, or maybe there might be too many processes lined up. Let's say here we are only publishing one per data set, but let's say there are 10 processes happening. It will It prioritize, let's say it will complete one, then give priority to, and then it will give priority to you. But for you to show that it is in progress, it's traffic there. If there are too many data sets which are in progress also, it might result into it. But the reason is not clear. It seems that it's an issue from Workday's end, and they're trying to fix it as but it's rarely happens, but this is how it's solved. First of all, the file is not available. That might be the reason. Secondly, is that there are too many data set which are publishing in the background, or too many processes being happening in the background that causes this. If the file is not available, you need to go SAFP and you need to check or no, yes. The person, let's say you are getting a file, let's say from benefit provider or let's say from other team, you can. They might also have you access of that storage as FTP if they have given you. Then you can log into that and see that folder, that whether their file is available in that folder or not for that particular date. Let's say if it's picking that file on a daily basis, you can check for today's date, that let's say today is 21 October and is today's file is there or not. It might be dead, that the previous file is dead but today's file is not there. In that case, you can check by yourself, but let's say in some scenarios there might be no access to that particular folder. You can contact the team that my integration field and it seems that it is fine from mine. Can you please check on your end that whether you have uploaded a file, or here when we go to worksheet we can add a live data. It will ask me add a live data. But what from where I need to add it? Search for reports or include reports not enabled for worksheet, but my report is enabled for worksheet. DV worker data we have created here. See, it is coming over here. Only DV worker data because we already created it, and when I click it will show me that a sample or details of it. That report type is advanced report. How many columns are there? The data is in there. Then I will come to this is the report. I want it and give next. If my report is not there, I can give in include report for enable for worksheet. You remember we need to click an option that enable for Prism and enable for this worksheet in report. Let me show. If you are not sure, let me close it. I'll show it to you. It will open in the same time. Ready V. And is working a bit fine today. It's a good time for you to practice. When you go to this report over here and go to advanced tab, you will be able to see this option enable for worksheet. If you enable for Prism, you will be able to see this report in the Prism as to act as a data source, means to create a BDS or table. And enable for a worksheet is this option. You need to click, it's a tick mark option. These two options are important for you. This is a Prism and this is for we publish PDS. One of the PDS, maybe can we check it is there and I'm curious. Let's say I will create a custom report. You have custom report. It will be in custom report and in discovery board as both the places. Let me go to create custom report. I think you created it with the name of let me search here only. It will show my seat. And fly off. I think it got stuck. Continue. PD's Prism, and let me give me your advanced option and unselect it and your PDs. Here you can see it is coming as triangle option. Here you saw. Let me open in detail and read the action. Category Prism. Your description, which you added, it came here as a copy. You can mention that this data set consists of this data and all. It will come as here, and you can see how many fields it has. It will show all the fields which you have mentioned. Here it is very important when you publish it. It is important that in manage field you change the name or give a perfect name. The naming convention you should follow, whatever your organization suggests, that it should be kept first letter capital, then space or underscore, whichever they prefer. Every organization has different naming convention and full form or short forms or whatever it is. And here, and if you see here their data source type, it's Prism. And you can see if I search DDS, DDS won't come. DDS overview, I will search for overview. It won't come by because that dataset DDS is not published, but PDS we have published it because of that it is available. That is not enable worksheets. How do I check worksheets? Now we need to go and check the PDs are not for worksheet, basically because these are the data source. It's not a worksheet is only, it pulls the report only. Oh yes, it's getting the data from. Let's say if you created a data set and you created a publisher data set to create a report out of it, and then you can pull that report or file into it. That's why I told you that here. If we go to Drive, you will see the option for reports, not the data set. You see data source is different and report is different. Open. Yes, if I go to this add live data, and here you can see select reports, only reports. Are showing here that DV org data. Let's say you created which report we created for employee. For performance I created, and DD's employee overview bytes for employee overview. See, it wasn't available previously. Employee performance matters, it was C. If I unclick it, it won't show. Over here, let's say type again performance. It won't show. Why? Because you might not have enabled. For worksheet, if I click on it, that include reports not enabled for worksheet. Then it will again load it and it will show me over here. And I click over here. It will show me all the data which is for that particular report. See advanced report, type employee ID, first name, last name, and all this thing. We are that, this is the thing, and give next. Then here we can also, here there's an option to drag and drop. Let's say I don't want all the columns in my sheet. I can grab that. I want only a few only. I can select all which field I want in my worksheet. I can select if I want all of them. This is for drag and drop, and I can also add plus over here for adding it. Let's say I want to select all. I can select all. Here it will show this. And here I want to sort it as, or let's say I sort the column by first name employee. I want to sort by employee. It will be a set, sending order to Z, and then I will give you next, and I can also preview the data. Let's have to preview the data. How my data will look, this is how the previewed it is. Let's say I give here Z12 to a, here it will change this look of. I need to also redo it again. It will process it. It will reverse it. It might not work in the preview as effective. Now it is asking me whether I should use live data or static value. Live data is what? That it will make it. Internet connection to Workday data. You can refresh the content of a live data area on demand. It's a refresh button. It will have all the live data. Let's say if someone got hired and I click refresh, that hire person will come directly. But let's say one of static value. Yes, it's a real time thing. But let's say I want to static only because let's say I'm working with 2 months data and I'm working on a particular formula and I can't afford it to change it very frequently because I know that it will change. I want it static because it will change daily. I will be very confusing for me that yesterday the value was this, yesterday the termination war or basically of that particular person was $7,000 and now it changed to $8,000. Why? It will confuse me, but in the background it might be the case that that person might have I have got promotion or increment. In such scenarios I will use a static value. Then I can give the name of a table, that performance table. Only letters, numbers, and periods and underscore. I can't give space. I have to give underscore. Then here highlight live data area. Let's say some columns are getting the live data that, let's say this particular data got refreshed recently. It will highlight me. That I can highlight it or else I can unselect it. Then limit number of rows inserted. Let's say I want only particular number of rows to be inserted. It will ask me how many rows I want. I can unselect. Don't want to limit it, restrict live data editing, refresh to the owners only. If there's a live data I want, I can restrict it, enable multi-instance value as I can add it, then set a source report. It's a global prompts. Prompts. Do I need to add any prompts? Let's say if there's a prompt when you run the report, it will ask for prompts that worker. Type is what it is, an employee or a contingent worker. Do I want to use the source report prompts or do I want to set it up separately over? In our case, we don't have any prompts available. That's why this I'm not able to do it any processing. But let's say if there are prompts, then I can select the prompts over here. Then I give add. Once we add it, all things it will from here by click on it. I can refresh now. Refresh. Now I edit live data. I can do all the changes which I want. Here I can also do the changes. And now let's say I want to do any calculation. Let's say I want to do the sum of all, the sum of this column. All of them. That was the performance rating for this and I give this here. I will get a sum to 733 for all of them. All of them total implies this 335. It will give sum. Here, the benefit is that we in Excel we used to mention the column name E. Here you can in bracket, let's say here it's a sum is there and I want to. In the bracket, let's say I want to mention here and square bracket, let's say performance. I'm selecting this, but you can select this particular table, basically E, but it will show in terms of my columns, not E, let me. Just a second. Here I'm getting this particular listing, but you saw when I give this selection, it will show me that you have selected in formula. It will show me that you have selected this performance rating column. Column. Here by this I won't be able to do a summation very easily in Workday. But in Worksheet I will be. A worksheet is also part of Workday, but it's give me access. Features over here, which is very easy for me in Workday. The process is very long and it's very tricky to do it. It's before. Whenever we are using some kind of calculation summation, we need to use workshops. And here all the changes are saved automatically. You don't need to do any changes as and the decimal part also. You told that I don't want to do this decimal part. I can select this and I can add the decimals that I want 2 decimals after this. Here I can hear it is working. It will add decimals. See, it's adding 1 decimal. I can add one more decimal. It will keep on adding decimals. In the Prism, the workaround was very different. Here, the workaround is very different. It is for me, which is the best approach. For me, it is always upon the requirement, the process, everything is correct. But for you, the most suitable it is, you will go ahead with that one. This is all. All the worksheet. All basically these are the questions I can answer you on a macro level that you can build some stories and around it if you want it. For the end, for the interview part, you can what the expect is that in Workday there won't be a question and answer that what is 1 plus 1? It's 2. There won't be such questions. There will be scenario based questions only. You should be prepared if you are creating a scenario, you should be able to answer it if they ask the questions around that. You can tell them that you have worked on various scenarios. First of all, you can use the current scenario which you used, benefit and performance report, which integration you created. You can add some complexity to it. You can add some more things to it, that you can add more complexity to it and make a story out of it by creating a scenario around that particular issue. That is one scenario. Secondly, is that you can let them on my personal. I will give my personal projects, which I have worked on recently, that job request in dashboard, that there was a project which you worked as a Workday as a job request in dashboard is that the previous client had already implemented job requisition dashboard, job requisition or recruiting module into Workday, but they used to have the job requisition details in the legacy system. It wasn't active into the Workday. In order to map it and to deprecate or to censor the legacy system, they had to migrate all the things to the Workday for the dashboarding purpose for the management. In order to do that, you created a report. First of all, custom report into the Workday, which was having generic candidates data or worker data into it. And secondly, all the job requests which are already there in the legacy system. You took that data and migrated to the Prism VSTP. Basically, you have two data sources. One is custom report, other one is job request in dashboard. And once you brought those things into the Prism, you got up. Now you have to do the transformation around it. Now going ahead, you first of all combine that both of the data candidates. Already if there is an existing data available or not, and if not, you were using the legacy data for it. Majorly it was a transformation thing, less of a ingestion but more of a transformation thing over there. You need to create a call field based upon the lead times you already have some dates available in the system, and to configure the lead time or maximum high date. Because let's say someone is doing a job posting, as of let's say someone did a job posting today, they might have some target in mind that we will anyhow hire someone within 30 days. Because it's a priority, in order to calculate it, we created a calculator field in which it will calculate the date to. That difference, the more the date is near to the job closing date, the more it will be crucial for the recruiter. Keep in mind that we are short of time for this one. The calculation which we used was, I will give a simple example, that today minus the job posting date. Let's say if a job posting has been done, let's say today is I think 22. Job posting has been done on 15th of October. And it's 7 days now. It's less priority or that. But as that difference increases, it becomes a higher priority. Because the job posting end date is within 30 days, you need to hire someone. The more the difference between them, the more it will take time to hire someone. It will be more difficult for someone to hire. Just that you build various calculations around this particular logic. Just lead time, or what is the trends of it? What is this you did for the future hire, for future job recs? Apart from this future recs you also worked on, you can also mention that you also worked on the existing job requisition. If you're already closed, you can understand a trend that, let's say, if you're posting a job requisition on a social media or somewhere or anywhere, we need you calculated how much time it usually takes to hire a person. It basically makes you understand the trends of the market. In future also, let's say you want to hire someone, you can plan the hiring accordingly. Because let's say if someone is hiring, I came to know that it takes around 30 days for me to hire someone. But we only keep 30 days at 10 to 9, we can expect to start looking for someone prior to 30 days, only before actually it is required. Let's say for company wants drivers for, let's say there's a shipping company and they want drivers to for their trucks to drive. They know that during the demand it will be very tough to hire someone. They see the trend, and based upon the previous year's trend, they will start looking for the drivers as early as possible, that they don't have a workforce crunch going ahead. This is one example which you put. Second example is, any questions regarding this scenario? No, no, I understood, I got it. We still rehearse this recording. You will have a better understanding. That's why I'm not talking too much. I can rehearse 3, 4 times and I can know what exactly how to make my own story after that. Main fundamental is to understand the scenario and explain the scenario. If you understand the scenario, you will be able to make some story in and around that particular topic. That is the only objective of it. Basically, here they will ask that what kind of Kyle field you use or what kind of things you use, and all this thing they will mention. In that you can say that I applied filter condition based upon particular demographic locations. Just if I want to hire different cities, you create different data sets for different states of the US, that to see the trends that certain states you are able to hire very quickly. Certain states are not able to do it. Apply stage as filter and apart from it to calculate the distance between the job posting date and today. Date. You created a casual dated difference, just that we created yesterday only. Apart from it, you can mention that you created an average you. First of all, you found a date difference from job posting date and hiring date for existing close. Stop requisition and apart from it after doing that. When once you create that thing, you got the difference for all, the close stop requisition, how much days it took to hire. Then out of it, you took the average of it. That what is the average time of combined one? That is one example. Second example would be hybrid working. You can mention that for you can use for same client or for certain client which you want. You can mention that there was hybrid working and we need to post to the management are the people are utilizing the hybrid working or not. First of all, there was already a data. It was already used in the legacy system. There was data, but there was a BI tool which they were using previously and they were deprecating it. But moving ahead, they want to see that if they want to deprecate it and they had to apply this hybrid working into the system and see that people are following or not. You already have a file, approval file, that whether the worker has those permissions or to do the hybrid working first of all. And if he doesn't have permission and still he is doing hybrid working, those workers should be flagged off that that is one thing. And secondly, you need to see that how many hours they are working in office. You had the one data source as the days they work in office, which is punch in and punch out time, and the days when they are on leave or means they are on vacation, and the third is the days on they worked on hybrid working. You combine these three data sources and did a join on it for the work, and you had the four data set, which is workers demographic, which is available from Workday Custom Report, and you combine these four of them and you did the analysis that how many people are working, how many days. Let's say if someone has permission of doing only 2 days of hybrid working, they're doing only for 2 days, but they're working more than that, then these should be flagged off. And if they don't have at all, let's say if they don't have at all the permission, still they're doing hybrid working, then those should be flagged off. And how many people are coming on Mondays, how many people are coming on Tuesdays, on Wednesdays, that the seating arrangement in the office can be done accordingly. Because what happens is you have office space good enough. But let's say all the people are coming on, let's say on particular days. Let's say they are coming on Mondays and Tuesdays only. And very less people are coming on Friday. And Friday the office is very empty, and on the Mondays, Tuesdays, and Wednesdays, the office is very full. To compensate the seating arrangement and to all the things we can use this particular, we fit this thing for hybrid working. That makes sense. Thank you for that. and I checked from the worksheet part. There's nothing much which is left discussed. These are There are only copies of the function which are very similar to the Excel file, which are self history. I would suggest to have a work around it and do some practice on it and let me know. Basically, we have almost covered all the courses. If you have any questions regarding your interview and something we can work on it. That this is a little bit important for me. As I mentioned, this is very hard for me to make up the stories unless until I didn't work on these areas particularly. They're asking I had a couple of interviews earlier. They were asking these kind of questions only. Accomplishment, I have this document also. I mean, that is going to be a big help me because on the failures of my interviews, become a little stronger and less until I know what I'm doing also. Accomplishment, and these are the things. What are the accomplishments and learning from failures? An example, if we go over that, your voice is breaking, sorry. Asking now, these are the accomplishments and learning failures related to PRISM or something. If you have any insights, some explanation around this, that also accomplishment and learning failures you can mention that is that you can mention that in accomplishing learnings that the learning was that it is not every time that all the feasibility by the client is or by what a logic actually supports it. You can mention that the data type from legacy system and Workday both are different systems, and we can expect it to be almost same. We can try to match up as much as possible, but theory is very different from the practical part. The data types are different. Everything is different. We can't replicate it exactly, but we can try to match it up as much as possible. That is one thing. And the main issue is that if they say that explain that scenario, then you can mention that previously for the hybrid working. Initially, there was no data available in terms of day. The data was available into hours. It was very hard to determine how many hours that person standard working hours are 40 hours per week. Each day 8 hours got it. But here, let's say if someone has a work hours of, let's say, 60 hours, it might be as 6 days of work, but obviously five. There's only 5 working days. They can't work 6 days unless they're working on Saturday and Sunday. But if they're working on from Monday to Friday and they're having not 40 years, they're having 60 hours, means 20 hours extra. Means they are doing some overtime, but that it was very hard to determine it. But somehow they come with a logic to consider. They had a logic to consider that if someone is working 5 days a week, they will divide it by 8 hours only. By that, they came to know that there will be a standard practice. This will definitely have some error in calculation. But because there was no many particular available, this was the issue. But going ahead to improve this accuracy of this particular one, you try to improve it, improving by to get the punch down date data to be recorded in days as if someone is punching from a morning to evening. They won't record in terms of hours. It's definitely they will have an art as but there will be a separate data. A column within days as you understand this logic which I explained that 60 years and 40 years because there was issue because ideally if we say it is more than 5 days of work, if someone says that I work from Monday to Friday but is going 60 days 60 hours, It will be hard to calculate where in such complex scenarios, and complexity increases more when we have vacation also to be taken in. Vacation. Because let's say someone has vacation, let's say there's 5 days a week. Working, let's say 8 4s are how much? It is 40, 40, not 40 less than 40 for 32 too. Sorry, 32. I haven't 8. Hours less 32 hours are there. He worked from Monday to Thursday and Friday he was on off. Ideally, he should be getting 32 hours, but let's say he worked each day to 2 hours extra, which accounts to 40 or 50 hours. Here it becomes tricky that, according to calculation, we feel that he worked 5 days, but no, he worked for 4 days, only each day of that 4 days he worked to 2 hours extra or 1 more extra, and on 5th day he worked for 5 days. He took the time off. These are the issues, challenges which you faced. And how do you deal it? You deal with creating a standard thing by dividing by 8 hours for now. It was less accurate, but to optimize it, you propose with an idea to also capture the time in terms of days as that we can have more accurate data. That is what your accomplishment is, that you can mention that you propose this idea. You will see this idea. Basically, they then thought that your accuracy is not good. They might deprecate it. You propose that going ahead, you can ask the vendor who is getting the time recorded for the workers to do a configuration that it captures in days. Temporarily, the capturing was being done on an early basis, which was less accurate. But going ahead, we also integrated days as which include the accuracy. By that, we were successful in deprecating the BI tool, which had a dependency of using this hybrid working analytics and all. And I think they will ask not more than 2 or 3 scenarios. Basically, you have 2 scenarios which you worked on. One is yours, then I give GRD top the question dashboard. And that third one is hybrid working. In the end, you can also mention for all of 3 of them that you create a discovery board or you forwarded this. After publishing the dataset, you forwarded this requirement. You created some basic discovery boards and you forwarded this requirement to the reporting team, which they created tag board in Workday. Any strength and areas to improvement. Anything this kind of scenario takes some time. Take some time to identify my key strengths, to live into the role you have applied for, considering technical skills, personal qualities, showing a willingness to grow on, demonstrate, committing, and areas of improvement. Strength. You can mention that in the habit of working, when people were thinking that they won't be able to replicate the BI tool, at that time you use your skills, analytical skills, to go ahead, move out of your step, and try to communicate try to establish a contact communication with the vendor who is looking or the team who is looking after this time data. Punch in, punch out. There might be many vendors who will be providing it. That machine is their punch in, punch out. Basically, it integrates the data. You approach them, you try that. Is there any feasibility to do that? I found that there might be some feasibility which they can check, and luckily they checked. And we found out if that wasn't the case, then that client would have still the dependency on that BI tool, which we now have successfully deprecated, and areas of improvement. You can mention that. Areas of improvement. I think you can mention a generic thing to it. That should be fine. See here some of the I know someone guy. When does send it to me? Can you walk us through this technical project you worked on, highlighting your specific role and challenges you faced with? What was the outcome and how did you work? Need to learn. Let's say Prism or something. Just a second, I'll read it out. Can you walk through the recent technical projects you worked on? Highlight your specific roles. What was the outcome and what did you learn from it? This is the technical project. Basically, these are the macro questions which they will ask. I explain the scenario and you can build the questions around this one. What I did is I explained you whole scenario. You can now break things into it based upon the questions. See, you also know that these are the 10 questions. They won't be asking only. Discussion question might come around from anywhere. What I tried is I tried to explain you whole picture and then you can break things out of it depending on what questions they asked to you, because you also know that this won't be any particular test that you will get questions from this particular topic only. I would suggest means I would be it won't take half an hour for me to review this question and answer this for you. But I would suggest that focus more on understanding the concept and understanding the overall picture. That if some, because these are not technical questions per se, these are behavioral question or maybe something that how did you do it or what was this thing or what was the approach? What was the issue which we're facing? Issue was that they were deprecating a BIBA tool or the legacy system was getting deprecated. These are the pain points which was resulting into creation of this thing. If you understand the overall picture, then you can answer any question which comes up in front of you. And some questions are basically here that the question that are fifth is describe a situation where you had a prioritized task and manage your time. Effectivity to meet the project deadline. How did you handle the company priorities? And when the set is a point fifth question. These are the questions which are not exactly related to work represent. But these are some generic in general. If you try to search on chat, Gipit or on Google also you will get a better answer for this. I might do it, but I think you will get best answers on Google and chat. Gip for this because these are very generic questions that situational questions. What you can do is you can try to search on Google. You can try to paste this question on chat, Jepit or Google, and that they can give some different answers. You can generate different answers out of it. Get to know that I can answer this question in three different manners, correct? It will be much efficient. I'll do that. I can book this question. Yes. It's a repeat and I'll ask that yes, it is and this question won't be. Whole, and I would say you can come up with any of the questions. If I say personally, I got a question that what do you do in your free time? Basically, I was prepared for the technical question and in my this much of experience, I haven't got this question. There's one word. It wasn't from technical round. It was a manager round. but I was expecting that manager will ask some technical question as or something related to work. But he just asked me that, what do you prefer doing on weekends and sleepwalk? They can ask you anything. You can't expect this thing, but you can try to prepare yourself that in certain situation question where they're asking how do you prioritize the work and all, you can find some best answers on Google and chat, Git and prepare yourself. But the main motto is that you should be your answer should. It should not be negative, it should be optimistic, that it should be not completely optimistic. I got the work, I complete all. You can also add some negatives to it as yes, there was some workload, it was tough to answer it. You can mention that sometimes you also miss the deadline, but you try to complete the deadlines, which was high priority work, and the project which you missed the deadline. It was least priority and missing it wasn't hampering the business. This you prioritize the work to prioritize the you weren't able to deliver. Or the things because you were old, you had 8 hours to work daily. You can't work 12 hours a day daily, but best you can try is you prioritize to deliver the work which was high, a priority, and which you, if you don't complete, might hamper the business. That should be that makes sense too. Let me check with the whatever the information you provide around that I'll ask these questions in the charge. If you then I'll get some where to put exactly, but we have a question I will be able to answer it. There's nothing issue in that, but I would suggest that because chat gp and google will give more answers and different versions of it, because these are general ones, but for technical definitely I would be the person to ask any technical questions, or if there's any techno behavioral questions, I will be the best person to reach out to. And let's say if I need to check something, I will also check if in that case, but I would definitely try to answer if there's any technical question. Sure, definitely. At this time, I was basically looking, these are the things, how to answer, what are the scenarios, how to face, these are the things. A little bit harder to explain the situation, the technical questions, at least the other way think there are some other insights. Also, it's hard to answer. That's where I thought of checking with your real time experience. That's where I thought of getting some information out of it. Exactly. Basically, as per my experience, they won't ask much scenarios. You also won't get time. Basically, the timeline of interviews half an hour to 1 hour, max 1 hour is the most, and in that 15 minutes. Of course, in the basic introduction for the interview panel, and you and the rest will be the technical questions, and I think 2 or 3 scenarios will the max which you can accommodate into the timeline, and basically you should be prepared for cost questions only which can come from anywhere, but the confidence is the key. If you answer the things by confident, it's you are. If you are not able to answer something, you can admit it as I don't no particular thing. But let's say if they ask you 5 questions in order to answer one question, but you answer 4 questions correctly, that should be also fine, because it's important that you can answer majority of the things or you sound confident with your book. The confidence is the key. In the end, got. And as I mentioned, the practice. The more you practice, the more you will gain confidence. See the confidence. Because from where? Because you are sure that any concept, the thing, the more you will polish the things you the more you will work. Meantime, you have tenant access. Utilize this trend to work more onto it, and once you also get into your work, try to work on topics which are not assigned to you just to gain confidence or just to see all the things which are already built in the tenant. Let's say you joined any organization and you got only one task. But let's say there's already two, three tasks already created in the organization, two, three projects created. You can review those projects. Please do like, share, and subscribe to our channel. For more information, contact us sales@therightuptalk.com.